fair to the 41-cent estimate, but revenue did beat forecasts. Reports that Uber has talked about a bid for Expedia on those reports around that. Uber CEO said this when he joined us in the last hour.
To the extent that we go.
Hello? Sorry, weird start today. All right, at least you guys are here. That's good. That's good. Morning book and tackles, Antonio, Carlos, Sidecar Guy. Hello. You should see it now. Okay, good. All right. Okay, quite the day yesterday. It looked like the earnings call that was actually interesting was MicroStrategy, not Robinhood. So I probably should have switched over to that one. Robinhood was pretty disappointing. Contra revenues caused basically lower revenues, which caused the disappointment. Low crypto trading volumes hurt the company too. I heard somebody say that actually I think it was Alejandro was talking about how that will pick up and get better in Q4 when they get those crypto trading volumes back. I'm actually not sure that's true. I do think that they'll have increased crypto trading revenues, but you don't see, like assets under custody, you don't see crypto going up. And their app actually really sucks. It really sucks for crypto because they haven't put any effort into it. And I say this as somebody who's not probably selling any of the calls they currently have and up a decent amount and made a lot of money off of Robinhood, so I have some loyalty to it. But their app sucks. They have like a handful of cryptos, and all of them are like mostly the old ones that people don't care about anymore. And it doesn't seem like a focus for them, probably because they were trying to avoid scrutiny from the SEC. So I actually don't know if it's going to help them a lot. And then they're going to have more contra revenue issues in Q4 from what they said, from what Vlad said at the end of the call. I think it was Vlad, maybe it was somebody else. But I don't know. So I don't feel super optimistic about Hood over the short term, at least, which is a bummer. I want to, right? But I don't. Also, Tesla version 13. What software are you using to display those details? Oh, it's my buddy Alejandro. It's visualstocks.com, but instead of an S in the word visual, it's a Z. So visual, VIZUAL, stocks.com. It's a great website. I get nothing for saying that. But yeah, so Tesla, on the other hand, is amazing. And I think is going to do really great things in the next quarter. I want to just point out the distribution list of what's coming next for FSD. Look at this. Look at this. They're talking about having, they said, let's just look here. As October comes to a close, here's an update on the releases. What we completed. So they show all that. They say what's coming next week. Full rollout of end-to-end driving to all users with hardware 4. Targeted for early next week, including enhancements in stop smoothness, less annoying, bad weather notifications, improvements, all this stuff, right? And this is October 31st. Yes, so this is just recently. So bad weather improvements, you won't get issues where it just doesn't function anymore the way it's supposed to. You won't see any of that stuff. It's going to have improved 12.5x models for hardware 3 city driving. Actually, Smart Summon released to Europe, China, and other regions of the world. Version 13 is a package of following major technology upgrades. 36 hertz full resolution hardware 4 video inputs, native hardware 4 inputs and neural network architectures, 3x model size scaling, 3x model context scaling, 4.2x data scaling, 5x training compute scaling, enabled by the Cortex training cluster, much improved reward prediction for collision avoidance following traffic controls, navigation, etc. Efficient representation of maps and navigation inputs, audio inputs for better handling of emergency vehicles, redesigned controller for smoother, more accurate tracking, integrated unpark, reverse, and park capabilities, support of destination options, including pulling over, parking in a spot, drive away, and garage. I'll be able to park in my garage and have this thing back up out into the street when I put in a destination. This is just insane. We have integrated several of these improvements and are already seeing a 4x increase in miles between necessary interventions compared to 12.54. This lays the foundation for version 13 series, and we're targeting to ship version 13 to internal customers by the end of this week. So we're seeing version 13 going out internally this week. So they're a little bit behind. They're not getting it right at the end of October. But this is amazing. Listen to this. Most of the remaining items are independently validated and will be integrated over November in a series of point releases. We're targeting a wide release of version 13.3 with the most above improvements for AI4 vehicles around Thanksgiving. So by Thanksgiving, we'll have version 13.3. Tesla is executing at a level that is not comparable to any other company. They're just not comparable. It's amazing. So again, I'm disappointed with Robinhood. I know that my buddy Income Sharks and Tanner from Future Invest are going to be talking with Vlad. If there's anything I would recommend that you ask Vlad, it's what is he doing with crypto? And I'm going to send this to Tanner real quick while I think of it. Ask Vlad why his crypto listings are pathetic. Because I don't know how well they'll be able to grow revenues in this industry when they've made no listing changes and do not even have Solana. All right, we'll see if he asks it, but I just think that's bullshit. And I don't think it's going to serve them. And that bums me out because I really want the best for Robinhood, and they've done a lot of great things. There's a lot of new improvements, but I think if you're not on the cutting edge of Bitcoin and crypto in the halfway mark of the crypto market, I mean, you're just not going to benefit the same. So it bums me out. Starlink has been granted in principle approval by the Indian Telecom Ministry to begin operations in the country. Just amazing. Elon Musk honoring his promise. If this is a post from a while ago, August 5th of 2023, if you were unfairly treated by your employer due to posting or liking something on this platform, we will fund your legal bills. And it just shows that they're supporting U.S. Army Reserve's Major Dustin Whitten in his lawsuit against his former employer. I think that's amazing. We got a technical analyst, this was yesterday, Mark Newton, saying that Tesla could reach $300 before the end of the year. I agree. Breaking, biggest news websites in the world sees traffic slump for second month in a row, while traffic for X is at an all-time high. Traditional media is a direct competitor to X, one of the reasons why they're publishing fake articles targeting Elon Musk. Look at the death of traditional media sources. This is a month, and it's just going to keep getting worse. We had a massive upgrade to community notes. It says introducing lightning notes. I like that they're using that term. People want fast notes, so we re-architected the system to score notes faster. Since rolling this out, we've seen notes go live in as little as 14 minutes, 33 seconds after being written, 18 minutes, 20 seconds after the post itself was written. Ludicrously fast, now reality. So it says, think about what needs to happen for useful context to be added to a post. Post has to be seen. Post has to be evaluated. Is it accurate? Is the image real? Is the video from today or 5 years ago, etc.? Sources need to be found, reverse image search, original video, raw data, helpful article or analysis. Proposed context needs to be written. Proposed context needs to be reviewed by people from different perspectives for helpfulness, accuracy, etc. Thanks to Community Notes, 800,000 plus global contributors are now news scoring architecture, are now using the new scoring architecture. It is now possible for the entire process to happen in 20 minutes. Contributors can also write notes on specific images or videos. These media notes show automatically on new posts with matching media without any additional work from contributors. This is just amazing. We don't need a ministry of truth from the government. We have it from the people. Speed matters. External research made possible by Notes open source data has shown that Notes reducing sharing posts by 60%, increases deletion of posts by 80%, and are highly accurate. On top of that, Notes are found helpful by people from different perspectives, and people from across the political spectrum find Notes significantly more trustworthy than traditional misinformation flags. Agreed. In the past 2 weeks, over 400 notes started showing less than an hour after being written. They're automatically showing on over 8,000 posts and have been seen by over 200 million times. Over 60 notes started showing in less than an hour after the post itself went live. They're automatically showing on over 1,000 posts and have been seen by 21 million times. Now, when you see a note that goes live in under 60 minutes, you'll see a lightning indicator on it, recognizing the incredible work of contributors who make this happen. This is just awesome. This is just awesome. And ChatGPT, if you didn't see this, I posted it yesterday, but just again, doing a math problem and doing it, Grok doing it better than ChatGPT. ChatGPT tried to brute force it. Grok looked at the beautifulness of the world and the mathematical equation behind it. And it's just awesome. It's so good, guys. There's so many good things coming out of Tesla right now. It's very exciting. So disappointed with Robinhood earnings last night. Hope they can find their way. Not selling anything. But I would love to see them get more involved in crypto and like list Solana. What are you afraid of? Gary Gensler? He's gone, bro. Like list Solana. Don't be a cowardly bitch, Vlad. And most importantly, the call I should have listened to yesterday, MicroStrategy. Wow. Absolutely wow. There is so much to talk about with MicroStrategy. There's the yield to talk about, which is important. There's this post from James with Invest Answers that's ridiculous in a good way. So this says, Dow Jones Newswire, MicroStrategy announces third quarter 2024 financial results, holds 252,220 Bitcoin with BTC yield of 17.8% year to date, announces $42 billion capital plan. I'm not sure if that yield number is quite right, but we'll look at it. $42 billion capital plan. Let's listen to James' comments about this real quick. We're going to put him on blast here because I've been reading a lot. I want to read a little bit less. So 1 second here.
A massive $42 billion purchase of Bitcoin is planned, all from MicroStrategy MSTR. Note, it could take 3 years. Let's break down the math. If no new Bitcoin buyers enter the market, this purchase alone could conservatively increase Bitcoin's market cap by 75 times. This means Bitcoin's price could reach at least $230,000. If we assume a higher 120 times increase as estimated by Bank of America, Bitcoin could go up to $325,000 per coin.
There's something to note here. So some time is an element to the price of Bitcoin as well, right? Like volume coming in over time. So these numbers are going to be a little loose, but there's still math behind it that represents what he's talking about. But just think about this. This is just one company. This is just one company. One. And there's going to be a flood of additional companies coming in. So just think about this when you're listening to this.
Projections assume no new corporate buyers, no government investments, no retail buyers, no sovereign, no pension funds, no BlackRock, and no extra demand from rising prices. For MicroStrategy, this might mean doubling its Bitcoin holdings by 2025, potentially reaching 600,000 BTC. At a $325,000 price per Bitcoin, that's about $200 billion in Bitcoin assets. I'm trying to calc the impact on MSTR, but being in early, it will not matter. This could change my calculus around profit taking this cycle.
Yeah.
If these numbers don't excite you, it's hard to say what will. I am happy with my pair trade today. In a retirement account, I swapped CSLA into MSTR at a 0.90514 ratio.
I don't know how much TSLA he swapped. I don't know. I'm subscribed to him. I probably need to look. I personally am super excited about Tesla, but I'm also running an options play, and I'm not sure he is. So let's look here. Matt also says there seems to be some misunderstanding surrounding Saylor's explanation of MicroStrategy's valuation. On the earnings call, MicroStrategy increased their BTC yield target to 6 to 10% per year. Saylor emphasized that they're a growth company. If a company is growing at 6 to 10% annually, BTC over share, and you expect 30 to 50% growth in Bitcoin annually, that gives a 30 to 50x multiplier. His words, not mine. Basically, you take your expected BTC ARR, annualized rate of return, and multiply it by your expected BTC yield. This equates to 150% MNAV valuation for a 6% Bitcoin yield with a 30% Bitcoin growth rate of 1.5, NAV. 500% NAV valuation for a 10% BTC yield with a 50% Bitcoin growth rate is a 5x NAV. So basically what they're saying is it could vary in between this, right? Between 1.5x NAV and 5x NAV. Say currently including BTC and non-BTC liabilities is at 3.22x. I don't know if it's exactly at that. I think it's lower now. But who knows? We had an amazing recovery on MicroStrategy because I think people are starting to do the math on it. So yesterday and after hours, it was down, I don't even know, 12%, maybe more. Like it was down a lot, double digits. And now it's up 1.26% in pre, and we're at a 2.75 NAV premium. Is that right? 2.751 NAV premium, which is pretty freaking low. So again, I bought MSTU yesterday. Only got like 24,000. Wish I would have got more. Might look at getting more. Because I don't know. This company is just firing on all cylinders. And his bravado and his willingness to just keep pushing harder and harder and accelerating into this, I think is awesome. David Chapinda, CleanSpark made official the merge with Grid. Oh, they did. Awesome. Okay, what's CleanSpark sitting at? 0.33 in pre-market. Nothing too exciting. Looks like most miners are flat on the day in pre-market. Hood down 11%. Very disappointed in Hood. Very disappointed. I just go back to should be 6x NAV easy. I mean, maybe at a peak, master the game. Maybe at a peak. Like the tippity top, but I don't bet on peaks. It's not my style. But Tesla up 0.3%, 0.35% in pre-market. I love seeing that. But I think, guys, Microsoft voting in December can trigger a wave. Yeah, so the vote evidently is still ongoing. I don't know. James from Invest Answers didn't seem too optimistic about it because they have Vanguard, which is literally the vanguard against buying crypto. So they're recommending a no for the vote, but we'll see whether or not they actually get a yes. I'm not sure it's going to happen. But MicroStrategy is pretty amazing right now, and I think they're just a sign of what's coming for Bitcoin. They're literally telegraphing to you what's going to happen with Bitcoin here soon. I also wanted to show something else while I'm in here. Anthony Pompliano posted this, and I think it's very, very true from the investment basic portion of our little skit here. It says the best investors in the world are really good at doing nothing for long periods of time. I have crafted this too, even though I'm a swing trader and I'll have options that are out several years. But they're options nonetheless, right? They have theta decay. They can be dangerous. Look at PayPal 2025 if you don't believe me. But swing trading, waiting for something to go down and find its bottom, which can take years, and then investing in it, and then allocating more to it and trying to figure out, isolate the timing of it, and then waiting years again. So I can literally, I might rebalance every once in a while, but my major moves take years to play out. 2 to 4 years usually normally. And some companies like Tesla, I mean, they could take decades, right? So this is a very true statement. I would encourage you to let it resonate in your soul and understand it greatly. Okay said, Tom Lee released his top 10 list to buy in November per Nash. Tom Nash. Okay. NVIDIA, Meta, Uber. Oh, fuck that company. Amazon, Tesla, Palantir, App, MSTR, TGTX, MNKD. Okay. Well, I mean, I agree with some of those. All right. We got economic data. Let's take a look over here real quick. Again, fear and greed. I'm not going to look at the crypto one. It's practically broken. It's still 77. It just hasn't gone anywhere. But the stock one is at 57. So again, I'm up. I'm still probably, even with Hood today, just assuming Hood gets crushed, I'm probably still sitting at 3.4 million. So that's 10% off my recent high. But my recent high was like the beginning of the week or something. So even though PayPal did not do well, even though Hood did not do well, I'm still pretty happy. JT says I'm close to neutral and we're up this much. Wild. And I love the fact that we're almost near neutral. Yeah, I love that. I love that, right? So I've made back all my losses. We're ready for Bitcoin to take off. I'm still like nervously excited about the election. I'm probably going to appear Sunday on a channel with Carlos and some other people. Some of Amit's old friends. Do you know those guys? Anyway, I'm probably going to be a future. What is his? I don't remember what the channel's called. I don't even watch anybody anymore, honestly. Yeah, Carlos. What is it? The FJ Pod. Carlos. Let me show you Carlos. Here's Carlos. So I'm probably going to be on there talking politics. We'll see how that goes. Finance junkies. Thank you, dude. My brain's just like retarded today. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. So yeah, I'm probably going to do that. I haven't done a lot of collabs with people. I memean, I don't know. I don't like a lot of the collabs with people. These guys are cool though. I dig them. I think they're fun. So I want to do it. I don't care about the size. Before it's like, oh, I could be on this guy's and he's got hundreds of thousands of followers. I could be on this guy and they've got 350,000. Like, I don't give a shit about growing. I don't give a shit about any of that anymore. I just don't care. Don't fucking care. So I'm just going to do the things that are fun to me and that I find interesting. That's going to be it. Can you explain how MSTU works? Yeah, it's like a derivative, or not a derivative. It's like an options play. You have theta decay for it. So you're getting a constant rebalancing every day of it, where the multiplier that they say they're going to give, the 2x, gets degraded. There's also something called the expense ratio, basically what you're paying to be invested in it. So think of it as if you do it in one day, you're going to get that full 2x on your MSTU. You'll get that full 2x. If you do it over months, you're not going to get that full 2x. It's going to be degraded. So just think of it that way, and realize that the 2x multiplier can go against you. MSTX is going to become 2x2, I think. I heard that. I heard it might be already. I don't know. All right, let's look at some other. We're going to look at economic data from around the world real quick, guys, and then we'll go into more, okay? Japan housing starts year over year negative 0.6, forecast at negative 4%, and consensus negative 4.1. So their housing starts actually getting better than expected. God, is there actually housing growth in Japan? Japan has such a glut of homes. That's just weird. Construction orders, though, miserable, negative 21%, 21.3 with a forecast of negative 10. So definitely conflicting data points. I would believe that construction one more than I would believe the housing starts. I don't know. I just don't think that's going to last. Retail sales in Germany year over year, 3.8%. Consensus was 1.6 and forecast was 3.2. So this is actually an acceleration in retail sales. We like to see that, especially in a country like Germany. They've been bouncing since about January of 2023. This is actually a really good number for them. That's impressive. Let's keep going here. Import prices year over year, negative 1.3%. Again, I think they're getting that deflation coming out of China. They were going positive for a little bit, but it looks like it's starting to roll over again. That's good for them. You don't want to see prices going up. You don't want to see your economy breaking down and just stagnating, and then at the same time see inflation going up. That's just a horrific combination. Hong Kong GDP growth rate year over year, 1.8%, forecast at 3.2, consensus 3.1. Hong Kong is dying. It's absolutely dying. The trend is bad, and it will get a lot worse in Hong Kong. Hong Kong is probably going to be like the barometer for the failures in China, even though they mask so much of it in the data. Canada, the business barometer is up 55.8 to it was forecast for 54.3, and it was 55.1 last time. So it's a little bit better than expected. So people are getting a little more optimistic. But look at this downward trend, guys, since 2002. This is what Trudeau can do to your country. Yeah, Finance Junkie Pod. I think Sunday at 1 or 2 or something. I don't know. Got to finalize the details. He asked me to come on, so I'm going to do it. What did he say? 2 p.m. Eastern time, so 1 p.m. Central. Yeah. So I think I'm going to be on there. And I'm sure I'll be one of the most controversial political opinions on it because that's how I roll. But yeah, look at what Trudeau has done to this country. Look at this, guys. Look at this business barometer. Look at this. Look at what he's done to this country. Such a piece of shit. Challenger job cuts came in this morning at 6:30 a.m. We were expecting a forecast of 95,000. We got 55.6. U.S. employers announced 55,600 job cuts in October, below the 72,821 in September, but above the 50.9% from 36,836 in October of 2023. Aerospace and defense led the cuts. It's wild. Aerospace and defense are leading the cuts at a time where we're probably closer to war with China than we've ever been. I mean, it could happen at the election. That's my theory. Primarily on Boeing's announcement to cut 17,000. Well, Boeing's just a shit company. That makes sense. Followed by retailers and consumer products. October's total marks the 7th time this year job cut announcements are higher year on year. So far this year, companies have announced, but it's much lower than anticipated. And this doesn't look like a huge wave of job cuts. I mean, you got to look at what was created in March of 2020 to really understand. And well, I mean, that was a massive amount of cuts. And then we went way down and had an abnormally low period. And if you average all this out through here, and you average out this big dip down here and then going across from there, it's probably pretty normal. So we should keep an eye on it, but not really worried about it. Canada, GDP month over month is not out. That comes out at 7:30. That is in 4 minutes. So we get some Canadian data. We get core PCE. We get personal income, personal spending in the United States, employment cost benefits, wages for employment costs, the overall index, initial jobless claims, PCE price index, continuing jobless claims. There's just a lot of data coming out, guys. A lot of data coming out. FG's DGAF. Too many acronyms. Could you elaborate, Jarrett? As a Canadian, I cannot wait to see Trudeau go. Dude, he's such a piece of shit. If we don't get Trump and we don't replace Trudeau, I've all but given up on humanity in the future, outside of Elon Musk. He's the only hope we have left at that point. So, I don't know. I hope he doesn't fail us because we need him. But yeah, MicroStrategy actually down 0.3% this morning. Tesla's still up 0.35. Hood, miserable at 10.3%. Could get a little bit of a bounce back. Again, just not impressed with Hood. I'm not impressed with their shitty crypto selection at all. They've done a lot of great stuff with the product. I mean, they are growing. They're increasing product lines. I love all that. Don't give a fuck about. Oh yeah, I love those guys. I think they're just good people. Cypher down on earnings. I think all of them. I mean, I don't think any of them are going to have. Miners aren't going to have stellar earnings, guys. The stellar earnings come after the price rises a lot, and we're getting close to that. Q4 will be good. Q3 will be shit. So I think that's pretty much expected. All right, we got 2 minutes here. 2 minutes. See what these yahoos, they're on commercial break. They talking. But yeah, guys, very excited about MicroStrategy. Happy about the CleanSpark merger. I don't know if that'll help them today. They're flat on the day. Mara's flat on the day. We'll see. Is Seoul really that good? I was under the impression the network could be switched off with the flick of a switch. It's simplistic in nature, but I think it's great. Yeah, I think it's great. It's got higher traffic. It's got higher everything. It doesn't need to be like some decentralized fight the government type ecosystem for it to be used. I don't think Bitcoin and Solana or Ethereum should be compared to each other.
To address a bid by the city's top prosecutor to halt $1 million giveaways to register.
I think Carvana's a shit company. I don't almost believe their financial statements, Painted Coin. I think it has absolutely no effect on Tesla at all.
registered Pennsylvania voters from Musk and his political action committee. Musk has just requested to move the lawsuit to federal court. Neither Musk nor his attorneys or those for his political action committee have responded.
Jesse, if your portfolio ends with 5 million by end of next year, would you put your entire 5 million into Tesla? So my portfolio this year, I'm still shooting for $6.5 million. I currently have 3.4, so it's a big ask, right? I got to grow by 90%, but I think that's going to happen. Would I put it all into Tesla? I'll never put all of anything into anything. I'm always going to be diversified. I'm big on that because it gives you the ability to arbitrage play. So it just depends on the timing. But I will always be diversified. I just use levers to where I can get that same kind of impact with Tesla of holding my entire portfolio in it, but at the same time not have to.
To CNBC's request for a comment. And we are about a minute now and a half away from economic data. September PCE inflation, third quarter employment cost index numbers, initial jobless claims in more. We're
Let's get here. It's
seeing
already
some
out.
Commensurate bear.
Here we go.
And how much negative interest debt there was at the peak.
I don't actually want to hear his take first. He's going to take too long. We can listen to him right after. Let's just look at the data. All right. So core PCE price index up 0.3%. That's higher than expected, but for forecast, but within consensus. We'll look at the year-over-year data here in a second. Personal income month over month. I don't think we actually get yearly data on this, so we'll just look at it. 0.3%, consensus 0.3, forecast 0.2. Let's just look here at the chart itself. So, it's been a little low, but nothing crazy. Personal spending. We saw let me go back. They don't have all this stuff refreshed in the charts, which sucks. Let me just refresh over here. Personal spending 0.5%, so that's higher than forecast and consensus. We like that. That's a good metric. Employment costs and benefits quarter over quarter is 0.8%. That came in as forecast, and it was lower than previous. That's going to be good. We don't want to see wage inflation. Employment cost wages 0.8%. We had a forecast of 0.7. Previous was 0.9. So these kind of balance each other out. They're not really bad. Again, forecast was 0.7. Consensus was 0.9. We came in at 0.8. So kind of down the middle. Initial jobless claims, 216,000, still a low number. PCE price index year over year, 2.1% came in in line. Continuing jobless claims, 1862, forecast higher, so that's good. We'll listen to our boy Rick Santelli on revisions here in a second. Core PCE price index year over year. Okay, this one I care about more. 2.7%, forecast 2.7, consensus 2.6. Pretty much in line. Jobless claims 4-week average 236, 238 forecast. Nothing crazy here. Bitcoin's popping a little bit. Markets, PUD's up higher. It's only down 9% now. Nothing crazy here. Cypher had earnings this morning. Okay. Let's look at some of those real quick here. Let's just hop over. We'll look at stock market heat map. And we'll put it on pre-market. NVIDIA down, Amazon down. A lot of stuff. Microsoft getting punished. It's weird. Microsoft had a good quarter. Meta getting punished. Meta had a good quarter. Feels like a bouncy day. But Tesla's up. That's all I care about. All right, let's look over at some other stuff here real quick too. Tesla's ready to bounce, guys. It really is. Let's look at, you know what, we'll pull up. So Bitcoin here, again, just kind of, wouldn't surprise me at all just to back test into the 71.7 range or any of this stuff right around here, down to the like mid 71s. Wouldn't be crazy at all. Maybe even down to 71,000 itself. Wouldn't be crazy. Just to back test this before breaking through the final boss. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Now, let's look real quickly. We'll look at the miners watch list and see how badly. Well, no, I can't even do it this way, can I? We'll have to do it this way. So let's do extended hours. We'll look over here. And then we'll pull up Rick in a second and see what he has to say. But so miners, Riot down 4%, Cypher down 3%. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy in the miner world today, guys. Pretty boring, actually. Let's go to the watch list real quick. The overall, sort this. Hood down 9%, 9.5. Riot, Microsoft. So weird to see Microsoft and Meta down. Palantir down 2%. Whatever. Palantir was due to get rejected. I just didn't think everything else was, too. PayPal down 0.28%, so maybe PayPal's starting to find a bottom. I think those MSTU calls are going to pay off. Or not MSTU calls, but MSTU. MSTX is being weird. It's a 2X now, but it's up 1.51% on 0.68. So it's a little high. And then MSTU is a little low. People just can't make up their minds. Yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag of nuts. I don't see much happening with the data. Can we talk about Trump and his waste management uniform? Yeah, that's pretty great. That's pretty great. Election stuff hasn't changed too much. Lots of corruption. I'll probably talk about some of this, guys, and I'm not going to do a lot right now. This lady's a bitch. She released basically all the passwords for all their voting machines in the state of Colorado, I believe, right? Am I right? I don't remember. We got Trump. We got getting close to 69.420%, which is what Elon Musk is shooting for. We got Democrats just sued Erie County, Pennsylvania, officials alleging that up to 20,000 mail-in ballots haven't been delivered to voters who requested them, and 1,800 ballots are totally lost. So we got lawsuits all over the place on both sides. Maine, the state of Maine, a liberal beacon, said that they held an official student mock election every 4 years. This year, more than 20,000 students voted, and Donald Trump won 51-42. That's a great sign. Not only have Maine students picked the eventual winner in every race going back to 2004, this is Trump's best result by far. In 2020, he lost to Biden by 8. And in 2016, he beat Hillary by 2 points. He's winning by 9. Tell me there isn't signal there. Again, this day in history, 2016, look at this. Trump won, right? Clinton up 4.3, 4.62 in Wisconsin, 5.6 in Pennsylvania, 7 points in Michigan. Just look at this, right? Then in 2020, and he won. Trump won. And look at these polls. That just shows you how biased they are. In 2020, Biden was up by almost 8 nationally. Wisconsin, 6.8. Biden, Pennsylvania, 3.6. Ohio, 0.2. Michigan, 6.5. Nevada, 4. So that you could see how it showed Biden just trouncing all over Trump in 2020. Well, 2024 is a different scenario. Trump is up by 0.4. So that is 4.7 points better than Hillary Clinton in 2016, and 8.3 points better than the 2020. So these are amazing details, guys. Like, this says a lot about who's truly going to win. And then this same lady that leaked the passwords inadvertently for the Colorado election systems, she's the same one that wanted to remove Trump from the ballot. So she needs to go to prison, actually. This one, we had this post yesterday talking about one voter ID with 29 separate votes already. So there wasn't a category showing in here that Laura Trump, who is a Trump supporter, right? And family too, I think. Anyway, that they had fixed these and removed all the duplicates, and so this shouldn't have been sent out, and it has been corrected. They are working in Michigan to do a good job ensuring voter integrity, at least some of them, right? Anyway, there's a bunch more. Yeah, it does sound like jail time. Mike Shumati, a huge opportunity to get your portfolio in order before the election day and the Trump victory. Yeah, he better win. If he doesn't win, dude, I might take some time off. I'm not going to lie. I'll try and be here for you guys, but I might need a mental break if he doesn't win. Because I just don't, my optimism for humanity will be so low that I might need a break. So we'll see what happens, but I will fight for him as much as I possibly can. Let's see, U.S. economic data. Turns out big drops on Halloween are quite rare. When up year to date, the worst the spooky day has done in the past 30 years is only a 0.38% drop. So We shouldn't expect a huge drop, is what he's saying. Seth Golden said, Fundstrat's Tom Lee, small caps still look good, crawling their way higher. Patience hopper of grass, patience. I see what you did there. Financial Juice says, U.S. Treasury, we plan to conduct weekly liquidity support buybacks of up to $4 billion per operation. So again, we're looking at liquidity coming into the Treasury market to try and prop it up. I could see them keep doing that. I already covered this other one, so we're good there. All right. He will win. He better win, man. We do your part, guys. Do your part to make all of this better for your children, if nothing else. All right, I'm just going to say, hi, please do the stuff. All right. I care about my influence on X way more than I do YouTube right now. Like, you can like on YouTube, you can watch on YouTube. The platform's technically better right now. But what I really care about is X. They're going to be monetizing videos soon, which I think is great. I actually wish I could make it. Oh, and this is so insane. There's a glitch with the Dominion voting machines, guys, and they're going to have to patch it, and they can't do it yet. Oh, and she doesn't really seem that upset about it. Listen to this bullshit.
Issues with the programming of the VATs with specifically
Yes.
from Dominion. Why was that only caught in the past few days, and why can't it be fixed? I saw the release with the
Yeah, this is a nationwide issue with Dominion voter access terminals in the counties that use them.
Why are we using digital devices for voting? Why? See, here's the great. Let me just say something real quick. I'll let this play out, and then I want to answer Daniel Dibb's question about why I think Trump might still win, even though there's tons of election fraud all over the country. I do want to answer that.
The voter access terminals, of course, not all the machines, just the ones that are accessible, have an issue with the straight party voting and a programming issue that's, again, affected the machines nationwide. And I think all of us that use Dominion machines were unhappy to learn about this during the testing period.
She actually looks happy.
And as early voting began. So we're working with Dominion to seek accountability on that front, and also are working with our clerks to ensure voters are aware of this programming issue that will require them to ensure they are voting every section on the ballot.
Do you think it's a bigger issue in Michigan because we do allow voters to cross over in ways that a lot of other states don't?
Because we have straight party. It's not struck me as I've talked to my other colleagues in other states. They're just as upset about it as we are. So yeah, or surprised, I think. Yeah.
Again, so here's why I have faith. Trump 2024 says you only see this in banana republics. This is so sad. I agree. Here's why I have faith, though. We're lucky in the United States. We're lucky for a lot of reasons. We have separation of powers by state. We have separation of powers by the three bodies of government. We've got the executive branch, which is completely corrupt right now, in my opinion. We've got the Supreme Court, which is in good shape. We've got the House and Senate, which I think Republicans are still going to do well in. So we have bodies of government that help with accountability. And again, we even have the right to overthrow our government. So I have faith. I have faith in our military. I have faith in Elon Musk. I have faith in Donald Trump. I have faith in all the people that are supporting him. And I have faith that the right things will happen, and that at the very least, if we have to do a revote and require paper ballots for everybody and do it the right way, the old-fashioned way, the way when we could actually find out in a fucking day who the president was, that we can do that. So I'm not totally going to call us a banana republic right now. And I do believe that Trump legitimately will win. But you're right. I do have fears about voting systems that are corrupt and that literally have bugs going into an election. And I don't think Democrats are going to have a leg to stand on. We have X now. We have literally an election integrity community in X to ensure that nothing gets missed. So I think that I think there's hope. There's hope. There's still a lot of hope for this country. And that's what I'm going to operate off of until there is no more. And then I'll get the fuck out. So that's the way I look at it. And I'm not just somebody who's like, I'll move to Canada. I mean, first off, I'm not going to fucking move to Canada because you got Trudeau there. But secondly, I will just, if America is hopeless, then I won't be here. I won't raise my kid here. I'll have to find a place where I think there's still beacons of freedom and hope and opportunity, and where there could be growth. And I hope to God that's here. I hope to God that's here because I love this country. Yes, we need to fix this crap soon as he wins. Yes, immediately. That should be the first order of government. Human to Gunner and Gracie, the chances of a revote are 0. Not sure if you saw the story. A Chinese immigrant voted illegally, called the country to get his ballot back, was caught, but the vote will still count. No, that's not true. Again, we have 3 bodies of government. The chance for a revote is very possible. It's very possible when you have a system that doesn't have voter integrity and you still have portions of the government that can fight back. If you think that this government at the very least has control over the military, I think you're delusional. They don't. They might run the political branches of it with the 5-star generals, but no, bro. They don't. JT, I would love to come to Taiwan, but I'm pretty sure you're going to get invaded by China soon. So I'm a little worried about that. It might even happen as soon as the election. It would be a great time to invade. So you might want to take a holiday. Ethan Batiak, hopefully I got that right. Don't hate on Canada. It's nice here. I love your country. I just pity your country, just like I pity ours right now. Daniel Dibb, what's funny about the voting machines is, in theory, they were not connected to the internet. They actually are connected. They can be wirelessly updated. They can be wirelessly updated, and they can be easily hacked. And we're giving away fucking passwords. So I don't understand how you can anybody can point to there being any symbolism of election integrity with them. Mark Cuban and Dana White on News Nation TV, a must-watch. Cuban gets his ass whooped. I'm sure. Dana White's so much better. He could kick his ass in a real fight, and he could definitely do it verbally because Cuban's a moron. I mean, it's proof, though, guys. Cuban is like the dream of America because you can be a complete asshat moron and still become a billionaire. I mean, isn't this a great country? Albert, Taiwan cannot be invaded during election. Why not? Why not? You tell me. You tell me why not. I mean, I don't think China can win a war right now, but it doesn't seem to be slowing them down. They're literally, their exchange markets are drifting away from like the Shanghai. They're seeing markets drop on the East Coast of the country. And they're seeing markets in a centrally located location where they're trying to basically maybe build a new capital, blowing up and going higher. I think they're hardening themselves. They're preparing for war. Now, again, hopefully it's years out, but I don't see why they don't. I mean, they're going to lose either way. So why not get started right now? It's less about winning a war with China, guys, and more about the CCP and Xi Jinping trying to maintain control. And if you take them away as being the villains and you point towards the enemy, you can do that. That's why they're gonna wage war. That's why. Anyway, fun topics today. Let's keep moving on. Let's go over here and see what they're doing. Buy the dip on hood calls. I'm not today. I'm not. Again, I'm kind of pissed. I'm okay with the cost of acquisition, right? I'm okay with the fact that they're giving out cuts in order to be able to get it to where, they're giving out, the money I transferred over. They're giving out, free money to be able to get people to bring over their portfolios and lock them in. I totally dig that. Like, that's fine. The thing I don't like about Hood right now is I don't like the fact that I don't see how they're going to do really well with crypto earnings because they've done nothing with their platform. It's the exact fucking same. It doesn't even have Solana on it. That's like the most popular currency out there. It's the one that everybody is putting effort into. It's dwarfing Ethereum in regard to volumes, and yet they don't even have it. They don't even have it. And so it's just I'm still holding my hood, but I'm not super excited to buy the dip. All right, let me get caught up here. Crypto Analyzer, I hope miners tank again today so I can mortgage my house for leaps. Chicken Bro, Taiwan is going to be China's Vietnam. I hope so. I mean, I don't think China can win a war. I think, but the dictator fallacy made Putin think he could win a war in 3 days that he's been fighting for 3 years almost, right? So where there was a coup from the chef, one of his closest military confidants that was basically running his private militaries, and tried to overthrow him, and then he had to shoot him out of the sky in a jet later on to punish him. Dictator fallacy is so dangerous. Sidecar guy says, "Amen. No soul on Hood. They're missing out." It just shows that they don't care about crypto and Bitcoin that much, and it hasn't been a focus for them. They don't even talk about it, and I think that they're gonna miss out because of it. JT, I just watched Tropic Thunder. I know exactly what to do. Tropic Thunder is such a good movie. That would not pass today. Would Ben Stiller do Tropic Thunder today? Would Robert Downey do blackface today? But you know what? Some of the funniest shit I've ever watched in my life. That was back when Americans had a sense of humor. Okay, China has a huge army, but zero experience. And I know they're going to lose. It's not going to be pretty. But they do have over 500 nukes. They're building out nukes at a very aggressive rate. And they've got bunkers. Again, like, I forget, is Szechuan? I don't know. It's like the middle part of the country where they have a bunch of bunkers. That's where they're trying to, it seems to relocate to. But again, that's a multi-year thing, so it gives me hope that it'll take a while. All right, let's look over here. Let's see what we're doing over here. We'll listen to Rick and see if there's anything interesting, any caveats that came out of this. Also, let me just hop back over here real quick, too. I'm just going to sort by... Let's see what's happening. Anything? SoFi up 0.36%. That's good. TLT, the bonds are starting to take a little bit of a bounce back. That's probably good. We don't want to see bonds falling apart. Iron's up a little bit. ARKG's up a hair. Tesla's about flat on the day. So, PayPal. What is PayPal at? PayPal is down 0.31%. That's good. It seems to be finding a bottom. Palantir is down 2.56. I don't think it's found its bottom. Hood, 8.9%. Not horrible. Could be worse. All right. Let's go over here. Let's listen to what the rest of what Rick has to say.
He called it actually a sock puppet, like a pets.com. It was 18 trillion.
You never want to go full retard. You never want to go full retard. Ben Stiller did. And Ben Stiller, I don't understand. Ben Stiller played a character whose most famous role was playing a retarded person. And it was the most offensive thing on earth. And this same guy who is Jewish is endorsing Kamala Harris for the president, somebody who would cancel him for the movie that he created and that gave him, such huge appeal. There's so much irony in there, and somebody who does not like the Jewish people or want to support Israel. She's not that person. She would much rather be with a Free Palestine crowd. She just knows it's not palatable. So it's just ironic to me. I think, you know what's sad? I hate to say this, guys, but I think Ben Stiller went full retard. I think he did.
Or something. He said the commensurate bear market could be a lot worse than what we've seen so far, and he doesn't know.
Option calls sound frightening on MSTU. You could look at it, but you're like adding theta decay on theta decay, Dario. So that sounds a little frightening to me because you got a 2x multiplier and then you're going to throw an option on there that could maybe do a 5 to 10 or something. Like, it's just a lot. It's a lot of theta decay.
Necessarily think it's over. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I didn't see it, but, first of all, there's a lot more of us vigilantes around than just Grant. He might be the guy on the horse in front of the line, but there's plenty behind him. And look towards Europe. Look at what's going on with UK yields as they're talking about.
You make me
more
happy
supply.
too, Frank.
It's
Let's
gonna
listen
get
to our bond
nasty out
vigilante
there.
here.
Here the numbers are hitting the wire. Let's start out with the employment cost
I don't know. I don't feel like there's a lot for him to be upset about today, but we'll see.
index. We're expecting a number.
Albert, fuck Prigozhin. I don't know. I think the whole war is a complete fucking waste. I think it was stupid for Putin to invade. But I also think that the West did their fair share to antagonize him and provoke it. It all needs to end for Ukraine and Russia's sake.
You know, just shy of 1% up.
Do I lift? I've done a push-up or two. So I can do some push-ups. I got a little bit. I got some tits on me. They used to be like flabby, but they're pretty muscled up now. I'm working on the arms. I just do like push-ups every once in a while, and I go on walks.
8, 9 tenths, and that's exactly what we received. Up 8 tenths, up 8 tenths. And how does that fit in? Up 8 tenths is the
Master
smallest
Chief. Nice.
month-over-month cost index variable going back to...
Derek has option calls on TMF. So TMF is a 3x multiplier of a 20-year bond. And bonds can move over very long periods of time. I never use margin, JT. It's a great way to go poor. Listen to Warren Buffett. Wow. I don't know. That scares me a little bit, Derek, just because, again, so much theta decay on that. That 3x multiplier alone. I can only imagine how painful that looks if it doesn't go anywhere for like a week, month, 6 months. If it just stays flat for a while, that would be brutal.
June of 21. So that's pretty good. Second quarter of 21. Now, let's look at personal income and spending. There's a lot of categories here. There's 7, so bear with me. On the income side, exactly as expected, up 0.3%, and up 0.3 equates to July. To find a higher number, you go back to May when it was up 0.5%. Now, let's look at spending, shall we? Spending was a bit on the light side. Last month was the second lowest reading of the year. It popped up a bit, up 0.5%. Up 0.5. That is really a nice number, and that equals where we were in July. To find a higher number, you go to March of this year when it was up 0.7. Now, let's go to real spending, shall we? That's up 0.4, another nice beat. If we look at the PCE price index month over month, up 0.2, exactly as expected. A little hotter than our 0.1 last time. To find a higher number, you have to go to April of this year. Now, let's look at the year-over-year price index. That came in at exactly 2.1, which was expected, but it is 0.1 smaller than our last look at 2.2. 2.2 in and of itself was the lightest since Dec of 21 when the comp was 1.8, so we remain in that same comp category. Now, let's look at core numbers. On a month-over-month core PCE,
not showing a slide, so I'm going to check the bonds.
Up 0.3 month-over-month. That actually is the hottest number going back to March of this year. And finally, number 7, core year-over-year PCE. And that number comes in hotter than expected at 2.7. We're looking for 2.6. But
I don't like seeing the 10-year go
month,
up.
2.7. And 2.7 actually on the core number. Well, if you look at that, that would be the biggest level going back to 2.7. That would be since April when we were hovering at 2.97, rounded up to 3. Now, we still have 2 categories left. Initial jobless claims, 216,000. That's about 14,000 lighter than expectations. Right. And that is definitely lower than the 228 slightly revised last week. But there's many asterisks here. Many economists, our own favorite Peter Bookfar, there's a lot of noise in this number due to storms, so it's hard to tell if it's getting back onto its proper GPS. And I would also put out there that many thought it would actually be higher based on certain effects. So we want to monitor that. And on continuing claims, the metric of 1.8 million now becomes the 21st consecutive week above that level, 1,862,000. That's actually a bit lighter than expectations, and that follows 1,888,000. After all that, how did the market synthesize these numbers? Well, we saw yields in a 10-year move up to 430. Now they're back down to 428, exactly where they were before any of the data hit at all. A 2-year more susceptible to potential issues regarding inflation, the Fed, and the strength of the jobs market. Well, it's now at 416. It was 418 prior to the number. So you could actually say, a little bit better news. I'm not sure exactly where they see the better news. We did see some inflation numbers a little warmer, some subtly cooler, but all in generically, the only surprise really was claims that I'm not sure that really counts. As far as Jim Grant and the vigilantes, I know there's an article in the Journal today that the next administration is going to inherit a great economy. I'm not sure about how I would define great, but they're going to inherit a boatload of debt. Joe and the gang?
Yeah, there's nothing great about the economy except for the fact that we've still been juicing it stealthily, right? There's nothing great, though, about the economy. Just to be clear, there's a lot of problems with the economy. But if we have a pro-growth president, then we're going to be happy. It's going to be good stuff. XMB S Trader, 2 to 10 was +7 before number, now +11. Oh, yeah. Okay. Looks like the dollar's gaining strength against the ruble. We've got flat on the dollar versus the won. We've got the dollar coming down against the yen, which is good. We don't want the Japanese carry trade unwinding. The inversion is pretty much doing what we think it's going to do, which is nothing. It's uninverted and it's just hanging out. And again, the 10-year bond pushing up against resistance, but I think it's going to roll over. We got bearish divergence that's been building up over time. This is a 3-month, so it's a little bit weirder. But if you look at it on the monthly, again, March of 2022, April of 2022, we've had bearish divergence trying to draw us down, even though this thing has been going higher. It's hitting peak resistances. I still believe with a lot of strength and conviction that we're going to go down. Am I in a swing state? Nope, I'm not. So my vote doesn't really fucking matter much, but I still do it. But if you're in a swing state, man, and you don't vote Trump, especially if you're in markets, you're a fucking moron. You're an idiot. Buy this dip gently in form of selling CPS. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I think this dip, again, we've got a huge election next week. If Trump does win, and I don't know. I think there's going to be some contention. I do think that it wouldn't be crazy to have a little bit of cash on hand. I don't know how much I'll have. I'll probably just write it out. We'll see. But it's probably not crazy to have some cash or the ability to be able to weather the storm and have some form of income in order to be able to benefit from a potential drop from the election. I personally, mentally, am pricing in a contentious election, and I don't know if the whole market is. It doesn't really seem like it based on price action. Maybe they don't care. I mean, again, after the election, we know markets, they still want to go higher, and all these guys are talking about spending, but there's some very different paths between what Trump is talking about doing and what we're going to see from Kamala. And, yes, I deliberately pronounce her name wrong because I know it pisses people off. Sathurtha Mandal. Jesse, do you think that $2.5K to learn a trading system with a variety of indicators is worth it? I'm kind of no, I don't, bro. I don't think anybody should have to pay for stuff that you should be able to give for free. Now, don't get me wrong. I have memberships that are like $5 for X where I'll give you some exclusive posts and I'll do it in a timely fashion. You could spend $2 on YouTube and comment, right? Like there's some benefit to that. For $2, it's not a bad number. On Discord, if you want to be able to talk about specific stocks and look at the charts that I have, you can pay another $5. So all in for me, it's $12 a month. I think that's pretty fair. Do I think much beyond that is fair? No. James from Invest Answers will charge you $8 for his Patreon. Go there. Do not pay some other asshole $2,500 for anything. Okay? For anything. Hood, I don't know, man. I don't care about temporary price actions. Somebody, Bigfoot Crypto says, sell some puts on Hood. I don't know. Everything can move in different directions. It could be nonsensical over the short term. I don't encourage people to make short-term trades. I don't know what's going to happen with Hood today. It could go down. It could go up. What's going to happen with the broader market? It's down 9.5%, so it seems like it's rolling over a little bit. Microsoft's down 4% on really pretty good earnings yesterday. I mean, I don't know. You don't know where things are going to go over the short term, so I'd be hesitant to get too excited with any short-term play. I really don't like playing short-term plays, especially around earnings with options, because there's so much interest around option timeframes that everything is bloated. Might have to sell your Hood calls. Sorry to hear that, Ethan. I see. I'm happy mine are January 2026, right? So I can be wrong for a while, and I still have some hope on Hood. I still think they'll do good. Maybe it's just Q1, or maybe we get a surprise in Q4 for some reason. I do think that they're doing a lot of that, a lot of contra revenue in Q4 because I think there's a lot of people taking that 3% offer on IRAs. Ethan also said, here, Trump 2024 said, $12 includes several channels and includes trade idea. Yeah, so, I should probably just tell you guys. I didn't really finish my thought. So, first off, we cleared out cancellations, and then we also cleared out people that might have been getting in when they weren't supposed to because other people were inviting them. So we were able to fix some stuff with a friend's help here who runs a bunch of Discords and who did really, really great at giving us advice. He has a wonderful site too. So he's talking about helping out with this one. We're probably going to let him do that. But there's about 760 people in here. We got a lot of channels. So it's maybe a little disorganized, and we'll try and make it better. But we got chat. We got off-topic chat. I don't know. That's maybe too many chats. Technical analysis chat, questions, suggestion box, and education. So these are like all of our chat areas. My socials get pulled over from YouTube and X, so you can find them all here and see everything that I posted. You can see the trades that I make. Portfolio allocations, I need to clean up. I need to fix this. First off, this one's broken, so I have to redo that again. And then I just need to quantify these. I haven't done that. I had a chart section in here, but I'm not going to update it anymore because I'm putting all the charts underneath the stocks or cryptos that they pertain to. You can see people talking about Celsius in here. You can see my charts in it. If you click the pinned message up here, you can click on my chart and see it. You can make a copy of it. So you get my updated charts. And then after we get done looking at charts, during the market open or the market recap, we actually, if it's a good company and something where it's like, okay, the community might benefit from this, we post it in here. And that way people can talk and have more conversations about it. Some are more active than others. You can see ArcG. It looks like there's nobody's talked about it in 2 days, but again, decent amount. This one's kind of a bleh investment right now, though, so I'm probably not too many people excited on it. AMD, it looks like people were talking about it yesterday. You can see how, like, Lam Research a couple days ago, you can see PayPal. We probably got stuff that's more recent yesterday, 10:42 a.m. You can see a lot of dialogue and conversation, and again, you get any extra stuff that we have, you get in here. So, and then we have, again, a lot of different things. So we got CleanSpark. People are talking about CleanSpark. So you can get news that doesn't necessarily even come from me, but comes from the community. And you guys gather this stuff really, really well. Sometimes I get my stuff from here. So again, I think it's a good deal, but it depends on how much you like a Discord and how much you want to be a part of a community. Everybody's I kind of offer it in different flavors as a way to support the cause without having to spend a lot of money, because you shouldn't have to do that. If anything, I should be the one spending lots of money, because you guys right now, by my math, with referrals and everything, are giving me like $140,000 a year. And that is twice what I made as a professional in my business career. So, and that's before taxes, obviously. I've got to pay taxes on it too. They'll be pretty hefty with that kind of income. But I should be the one paying for additional services like, Glassnode or Macro, microsite, or again, all the other things I sign up for, CNBC Pro. I should be paying for these things while you guys give me little bits of money because you're helping me out and supporting my work. That's the way it should work. You shouldn't be giving some motherfucker who can supposedly help you out and give you all this insight $2,500. The only person I'd give any kind of large money to would probably be Tom Lee, because he's got entire teams that work with him. But I don't, outside of that, man, fuck it. I wouldn't trust any of those assholes. PayPal going to 74 to 75, in my opinion. I mean, that's possible. Yeah, I don't hate that. That could happen. But we got a pretty good volume shelf building up here, too. But yeah, 74, 75. I mean, again, like, yeah, that's wicked volume. And it's not much further than we are right now. So, am I following Henrik? I think he's kind of retarded. No. I mean, I don't like Henrik. I've listened to him. And maybe I'm judging him too harshly, but the times I've listened to him, he just didn't vet out his thesis very well in talking about like the macro and the geopolitics of the world and what's happening in treasury markets and Bitcoin and all these things. I've never really gotten, he made big predictions, right? Like, who's this guy? Let's look at him real quick. Henrik, right? Let's look at Henrik. I don't even think I follow him. Yeah, here he is. Stock market, invincible, buy. So this guy was telling you about the great melt up. I think he switched more into like it's all broken now. I think that's his latest thing. Like we're getting ready to see the end of everything. Let's see. TikTok, global Dow, still upside, blow off top, will be extreme in certain markets, small caps and crypto and euphoria. I mean, I agree with this, but I don't understand how you define a 20s style bear market. And I've never heard him explain it. Never. Peloton crushed their earnings. That's like a one-legged man in a race who's racing against like people with no legs. But maybe it's going to do better. I don't know. But yeah, I don't like people like this. He's got a huge following, and well, actually not that huge anymore compared to mine. I'm actually like what 60, almost 63. So I've grown a lot compared to him over time. But I don't like it when people are like, "Oh, we're going into a Great Depression." Well, why is that? Because in the Great Depression, guys, I believe, here's my theory behind the Great Depression, right? I believe that the Great Depression was mainly caused because people had 10x leverage, and it was commonplace to be able to put in, let's give smaller numbers, $1,000 and get $10,000 worth of buying power. Does that sound like a fucking disaster? And you had tariffs in place for decades in a world that didn't really have the global economy we have now, where if you place a bunch of tariffs on China, it's okay because all these companies have been leaving China. Some of them, like I was listening to this, the Shark vacuum cleaner company, whatever. Like, I don't know. I think I owned one of those before. They're doing a bunch of different products. They talked about how they've diversified all of their risk away from China, right? So we live in a world now that's much more global, and you can change and move. It might be a slow, like somewhat of a train wreck, but you can move around. And so we can punish the people that are trying to get off the dollar. We can punish the people that are trying to go to war with our friends. We have levers and power right now in the U.S. economy. That's why we still see the dollar being used like crazy, right? So to me, there's no real comparisons between the Roaring 20s happening and then the Great Depression that he assumes is going to happen. And Henrik can't give me I don't know. I haven't had a debate with this guy, but everything I've seen him talk about doesn't give a reason why we're going to suffer a Great Depression outside of some Elliott wave theory bullshit. And can Elliott waves be accurate? Sure. There are a lot of things that can be accurate, but they just show you resistance and supports. They don't show you truth. So I don't know. I don't like him. Whoa, Manny. Thanks, bro. Thank you, dude. You're a huge supporter. There's a few of you guys that are amazing. 50 is a huge number. Thank you, bro. I gotta, now because of you, I'm gonna have to go back up to the comments and figure out where they start. So, Dylan Hastings, my wife was jury duty in Philly, and they are making security arrangements for your hero, Elon, to appear today. That's awesome. Ali Shahabi, I was about to buy Hood before earnings, but dodged that bullet. Congrats. Henry D. Trades, PayPal is going, yeah, I already said that one. I agree with you. It could do that. Laura Panola, pretty sure Ben Stiller hung out with Diddy. Yeah, he was diddying somebody, right? And so that's why he went full retard. Kubikina, 100% I like your way of thinking. Jesse, thank you. Joseph, is it time to finally short Carvana? I don't know. I got to do a lot more digging into it before I'd look at shorting it. they own the bank that finances their loans. That does sound frightening, bro. I mean, again, from what I understand of the used car market, I don't see how what they're doing can be legitimate. I don't see how they can be pulling in the margins they're pulling in. Maybe for a short period of time, but either way, I don't see it lasting, even if there isn't some huge corruption there. Akash 2000, at least the TA suggests that. Bigfoot Cryptos laughed when I told him that I thought Henrik was an idiot. Human to Gunnar Gracie, Piton crushed. Maybe that means another pandemic is coming, right? Trump 2024. I want to sell CPS and or sell puts. Election can bring us lower. Yeah, it might not be a bad idea. Sathrita, I appreciate you, Jesse. He's a legit trader with a good system, but 2,500 seemed steep. I don't like traders. I don't like traders. I know that might sound weird because people think I am one, but I'm not. I don't trade around earnings. I don't use margin. I use leaps when I do options because options are fucking dangerous. I tell people options are dangerous. I made an option 101 video, and some of the first things I do in the video are tell you why it can destroy you. Okay? So I am not a trader. I'm a swing trader who looks out multiple years, decades on investments and has conviction on them as long as they perform and do what they're supposed to do. But I don't like swing trading. I don't like legit traders. I think it's a great way to lose money. The best thing you can do is what I said earlier, okay? What Anthony Pompliano posted earlier today. This is the best thing you can do if you want to make money in markets. Nothing for long periods of time. As long as you're buying the right stuff, this is okay. This is the best road for probably 90% of people. Okay? Buy Bitcoin, buy Tesla, don't watch this fucking show. Go about your life and just keep buying. You'll be rich. Okay? That's all you got to do. You don't even have to come here every day. It's the truth. Hey, Jesse and crew, 4,000 target looking for group. 4,000 target what? Kuvakina. How many YouTubers tell you not to watch their show because you don't have to? Can you guys tell me how many are out there? Probably not a lot. Kuvakina, no great depth anymore. Unlike those times, they learned to press money and increase liquidity. Not sure what the context was of the message, but let me get through all these memberships that have been gifted. You're just insane, bro. I love you, man. Thank you, dude. RB says, Manny, nice. Yep, definitely think Manny, guys. JD, crypto market is similar to a Great Depression market. That's why we see 80 to 85% drawdowns, which would be considered a Great Depression in the stock market. True. Very true. Melissa Yu, oh, she got one too. Ionis Mikolopoulos. That's kind of a cool fucking name. It looks like you got one too. Everybody's getting them still. There's so many in here. 50 is just a huge number. Bigfoot Crypto, meta reversal today. What do you mean? It's going to come back up? Still just memberships coming out. Henry D Trades. Is this Henrik? No, I'm kidding. Meta running. Good. Meta deserved to. They had a good quarter. I mean, their expenses are still high for like VR and probably buying a bunch of equipment and stuff, but they deserve to do well. We got 13 minutes before the open. But yeah, guys, the less you trade, the more you look towards long term, the better your life is going to be. Please do that. Again, options can make you a lot of money. Understand the dangers with them, okay? Please to God. I don't like to see people wrecked. I do not. All right, so market's kind of coming down again. Tesla's only up 0.14. A lot of other stuff came down that was up. So market's looking a little depressed. Not depressionary, but a little depressed. So that could just be the day. 8.37% down on Hood. So Hood's actually getting a little bit of a bounce. Riot down a little bit more. 5.34%. So Microsoft down 4%. That doesn't make any sense to me. I think we're going to get a bounce back. Buy more Mew. Maybe. I think that could be a good play. I've just got so many other asymmetric bets that I'm putting time into. Arnold Schwarzenegger just came out in support of Harris. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger's a Democrat, has been for a long time. It's kind of sad, though. You think he came from another country. He's so pro-America. You would hope that he would come to the light, but whatever. Michael Myers, yo, Joseph, Bridgecrest, someone needs to question their first payment defaults through Bridgecrest. What are we talking about there? I'm not sure what the context. There's so many memberships gifts that I might be missing stuff. Jaja, thanks. Manny247, hit the like button. Always show respect. Welcome to the crew. Thank you, Manny. You're amazing, dude. Human to Gunner and Gracie, Carvana, 7,000 margin per car. No wonder there's a used car dealer on every corner. I just don't know. The cars just aren't selling, though. I mean, maybe they're picking up. Rates are still too high. It just, something doesn't add up to me. Something doesn't add up. There's too much of a glut of used cars. You have too many new cars that aren't going anywhere and that are priced too high. And then you've got Tesla dropping prices like crazy and just crushing people. Something doesn't add up. JD, blackmail runs the world. I mean, partially. Trump 2024, agreed, do nothing, invested as opposed to trade. Yes, it's just a better way to live, man. Again, and there's people that have, and I can't shit on everybody. I can just tell you the majority of people should be buy and hold. Because there are some people that have edges in different ways, in different markets, with different tools. But what works for them might not work for you. What works for me might not work for you, okay? So you gotta have conviction, you gotta do research, you gotta work hard, guys. There are no shortcuts in life. I mean, for some people there are. But you don't wanna be rolling a dice or buying a lotto ticket, right? You wanna be successful. So don't take the shortcuts. Take shortcuts where it's like, oh, that totally makes sense. I'll avoid that. Or this is a great way to do it. I can understand it. But still do due diligence. Put an effort. Try and understand things yourself. Make sure I'm not the only person you're listening to. Like, just put an effort. JD, we come here for the real talk. Thanks for always being genuine. That's, if there's anything I can give, it's genuineness. It's my only speed. Some people hate that. Scuba Steve, Manny Ballin, he is a baller. Adriana in Austin, thank you. Bigfoot, just sell calls. Eric Herbert, are we buying more PayPal and Hood calls today? I own so much in PayPal, guys. I'm not. Let me just pull up. And I still have a decent chunk in Hood. Hood, I don't know. I'm really disappointed with their crypto holdings. Travis, I love that Travis paid for a membership on top of all these 50 getting gifted. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that. But yeah, if I just look over here at my PayPal holdings, they're still pretty vast, even though it's probably been butchered. They're still pretty vast. So let's just look over here. So PayPal. I have 461,000 here. So I still have over $500,000 in PayPal costs. Okay. So I'm still doing pretty good on PayPal. On Tesla, I've got like 1.2 million, which is a lot. On Hood, I probably got 200,000. Well, that number is going to be lower today. I don't know, maybe 140, 150 or something on Hood. So I got a decent amount. CleanSpark, I've still got 300,000. I've got more stuff. I've got some stock and more calls on this too. So I'm pretty well allocated across the board. I do want more MSTU. I don't have enough MSTU because I don't hold enough MicroStrategy and I want more. So that might be something where I look to add more of in the future here. We got opening bell coming here in a second. I'm actually going to, so I'm going to skip this. I don't think he's going to have much to add on top of what I already added. Markets don't seem too bad today. They're down just a hair. We're going to wait here a second. When this comes up, probably going to hit the bathroom. I'm going to get some more coffee. Whale on Discord, can you take a look at this, please? Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. Just give me a little bit of time here. We'll listen to the market open and we can take a look at stocks. I don't think there's too much else happening right now, so we could do that. And if there's any news events that are coming up, guys, that we're missing, throw them out there and we'll look at it. Manny upgraded to a whale. Dude, you're such a stud. You're such a supported person. I appreciate all you guys, man. All you guys. Thank you very much. Even if you can't afford to pay for stuff, guys, if you're just sharing and retweeting and liking and commenting. Again, commenting is huge. Commenting is huge as a multiplier for accounts like mine. It's a big deal. So I really appreciate it. Yeah, so this is going to come on in a second. We'll hear the bell. I'm going to cut away for a second. I do have to pee pretty bad, so I'll be right back. And let me get my coffee. Give me just like 3 minutes, guys. I'll be right back. Make sure everything's working. Yeah, okay. Just double check. Yeah. Okay. Be right back.
It's your color.
As we count down to the final trading session of October, take a look at this month's top performers on the S&P 500. We're led by United Airlines, up some 40%. The cruise lines, take a look at them. Norwegian Carnival.
Reed Cruise Lines, a broker, and French fries.
Ray J and fries with that shake. Kramer's Mad Dash when we come back.
All right. I'm back. Give me a second. Give me a second. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm back. All right. Did everybody leave? Yeah, just a couple people. That's not so bad. Hi, guys. We got the bell, what, in 2 minutes? Some people just can't handle static for a couple of minutes. They just can't make it. That's okay, though. Jesse is changing my short-term trader to invest longer term. Yeah, dude, I hope so, man. Like, it's just so important that the most important thing you can do in the investment world is be right about your investments and then have high conviction and then just keep allocating. Now, don't get me wrong. I like timing swings. I've been really good at timing the bottoms for Bitcoin.
We're back. Time now for Kramer's Mad Dash.
I'm the best at timing bottoms for Bitcoin. I'm fucking great at it. I've so far got 100% success rate at it. The top, the last top effed with me. And the one in 2017 messed with me because, again, I'm just going to pause this real quick. We'll get to it. We got 1 minute still till the bell. You know what? Yeah, we'll continue this thought in a second.
$74 billion company going to $500 billion perhaps today or tomorrow. The momentum in this company is incredible. They had an amazing runway to go forward. They are accepting digital. They are doing what I regard as being the greatest fintech in the world, which is that no risk to money, right? And they are, I think, the most competitive franchise in terms of the stuff that you never see. Winning banks and then doing credit cards, but with no risk to the credit card. So not Capital One, not a firm, just a company that works behind the scenes and does an amazing job.
I can tell you guys, credit card companies are not the future. They might be doing well now, but crypto and these other fintechs will replace their existence. So think about that. If you're invested in these companies, they will die over time, and it will become apparent.
In payment process.
Stock's had a big year, too. Up over the last 12 months, up almost 37%.
Mike's great. I mean, people, look, he's not a promoter, but you know what? There is a November 13 analyst meeting that I think is going to make it so everybody realizes who these guys are. And I would want people to be in ahead of that analyst meeting, which is going.
Dario said, "Do you think the market will be down or flat until the elections?" I think it's possible, and then I think it could go down after the election if there's some major contention or if we see some bullshit where it shows Harris with a blowout. It'll get weird.
White duopoly. Everybody wins. One of the great duopolies of all time.
We're going to get the opening bells in just a moment. You're going to hear them ring as we get set for this trading day, the final one in the month of October. You're going to see at the big board, fans for the cure and pre-cancer awareness of prostate cancer. Midtown, the NASDAQ, Trident Digital Tech. Of what Carvana's done in the last couple of years.
I don't care about Carvana. All right, so real quickly, we're just going to look over at the watch list and see how things are performing now that the market is opened. So Hood down 8.31%, kind of recovering. Cypher down 4.92. I'm kind of looking at the negatives here to see how they're doing. Kind of flat. The VIX is up again today. Ooh, we should look at the VIX. Roblox is up 17%. I swear, it's like all about the trashy companies right now. But yeah, no, I get that. I get Roblox. My kid uses Roblox too, right? But if you actually look at the stock, it's horrible. Let's see how I don't know how they did for their quarter. This might not be updated with that yet. Now, don't get me wrong. The growth is good. It's great, right? But when you're burning $207 million in a quarter where you made 900, at least they have free cash flow. It is getting better-ish. They need to lower costs significantly. But I just worry about the platform and its longevity. Eventually, people get tired. Eventually, people get tired and they just don't do it anymore. This is like heading in the right direction, one could argue, but it's still not good. And there a lot of this company is being funded by shareholders still, and that sucks. It's not like a Bitcoin miner where you got some rough guarantee. Their projection, though, look at that. Q4 2024 looks good. But again, their EPS is just going to get worse again. I don't know. I don't understand why. Look at this. So not only are they diluting the shit out of you, but they just sell into you too, the insiders. While they're making money and there's no profitability in the company and the short interest is going up, doubling in several quarters. And institutional ownership is slowly climbing because, again, maybe there's a company here in the future. But I don't get any of that. I don't get any of it. Let's look at Piton, too. Since you guys are asking about Piton, let's just look at it. So I guess, yeah. So I don't love Roblox at all. Big fan from Singapore. You're the best, Jesse. Keep it real. Thanks, Don NG. I appreciate it, man. I try to be. Peloton actually looks better. Looks better. This is a better-looking company. I mean, revenue growth is going nowhere. That sucks. But at least they're trying to get to profitability and make money. They're diluting the shit out of shareholders. Their operating expenses are going down, though, so they've been cutting. They actually had free cash flow last quarter. I don't know what this quarter looks like, if it's any better than that. And they're buying, the insiders are buying back their stock. You got to be happy a little bit. I mean, you got to be happy about that. Institutional ownership jumped a lot last quarter. Short interest is going down, even though it's at crazy levels, 18.61. That's probably much lower now. That's probably why it shot up so much. Yeah, it was insane during COVID. That chart, it looks like a disaster. Stock-based comp is 16%, though. I hate that. Like, look at this. Their operating leverage is not getting better. Revenues are not growing. Expenses are going down. So that's really how they've been doing all right. So I don't know. This just isn't a good company, but I guess it's a better company than it was. Microsoft down 6%. That's so dumb. Let's see if we got Microsoft loaded in here. I don't understand why Microsoft would be down that much. Just a slowdown in growth of some kind? Let's see. I mean, look at this, guys. Look at this. Cloud revenue up. Gaming revenue actually started to turn higher. You want that. It was going down. You want that. Revenue is up. I mean, yeah, maybe the pace is slowing. The pace is slowing over quarters, right? But look at that net income, record net income, almost $25 billion. Free cash flow, 23.3. Shares getting bought back. Cash piles are getting lower, but still not bad. The company has $57.5 billion in bonds and $21 billion in cash. Their expenses are actually getting better. I don't understand why people would be selling this. Especially, I mean, personal computing has been underperforming, but that could get better. There's definitely going to be a growth cycle, I think, with all this AI stuff. There's just going to be something. Azure growth's ticking up a little bit. I don't understand why people don't like this. It's just bullshit. It's just bullshit. Yeah, VIX is going higher. So we're getting some... PayPal's up today. PayPal. I love it. Keep doing that. Flux is up. That probably won't last. Oil's up just a little bit. Bond TLT's up just a hair. Tesla's flat, like that. Flat to up. Let's see who's getting hurt today. Nothing too crazy right now. Let's go all the way down. What do we have down here? 10.7% on Robinhood. That makes sense. Seoul Strategy is continuing to get crushed. That thing climbs so much. I get it. Cypher is down 5%. Microsoft's down 5%. Say is down 4%. Riot's down 4.2%. Bitfarms is down 3.34%. I'd say CleanSpark isn't really on sale when you compare it to all these others. You know, like CleanSpark's not doing too bad. It's only 2.5%. Mara's only 2%. That looks good. SoFi's down 2%. Iron's down 2%. Palantir's down 1.81%. It's getting a little bouncy. It's not going to do well, though. It's going to roll over. It'll just keep rolling over. I don't know. Maybe they'll really impress me. I do like the company. I love the company. I think they're just fighting technical headwinds after a very, very strong surge. That is not the camp I want to be in. Yeah, the market's pretty red. Let's look at the VIX real quick. Let's do that. I just want to see how high the VIX has gotten. I haven't really paid much attention to it lately. I do know it's creeping up. And then the 0-day VIX is probably just garbage. This isn't too bad. Again, you guys know my take on the VIX. After the largest impulse and crush in history on the monthly time frame, I don't expect the VIX to stay up for that long. But I'm not surprised for it to bounce to where it is, right? This is where we start to hit resistances here. Let me just draw a line. Let's see if we can find a good point here. And let me go to the 3-month. That's probably going to be cleaner. I don't know. It's kind of hard to know where to draw this. I mean, honestly, it's probably right here. So we're above the zone that we should be at. But this is a pretty good indication, right? Look at all the resistance here. Look at it trying to find support here, wallowing down through it. You can see where it hit resistance here. You can see where it hit it all through here. You can see where it found a little bit of support, broke down, got above it, tried to find support to blast off, dropped down, found nothing but resistance. Now it's up above it again. So I think we could get this VIX kind of going up, but I think it's going to get crushed. We don't spend a lot of time. Let's just put it up to here. I mean, if you look throughout history here, there's not a lot of time above these levels for the VIX. There just isn't. Let's look at the stock market heat map. This is a little more delayed, so I don't always use it. Let's get it out of pre-market and do performance daily. So NVIDIA down 2.32. Woof. Are we neutral or still 61-ish on fear and greed? Oh, good question. We were 57 actually on fear and greed for the stock index. We're 54. We're neutral. We're neutral, guys. This is good. This is good. I'm actually going to take a screenshot of this and post it. I love still being not far from all-time highs when we're neutral. There's no hate about that. All right, so I love that, man. I love that. That's such a good place to be. All right. But yeah, I don't know. Let's see. So PayPal up 1.3% still. I love that PayPal is the strong one today. Google up 0.54. Google did really great. So for their earnings too. Very much a surprise to me. Square's up a little bit. DJT, the Dow Jones Transportation Index, is up. I haven't looked at that in a while. How's the Transportation Index doing? It usually is a precursor to what might be coming for the economy. Not always, but a decent amount. So, I don't know. This looks like a launch pad to me. This looks like a launch pad to me, guys. We had plenty of time to break down under here where we tested this 100 and 200 moving averages and then launched off of it. All the peak volume is underneath of us, and this thing is sitting on an RSI that's about the middle of the road, 55%, maybe 60% up towards overbought. This is great. This is a great setup to establish, at least test the 18,100 mark on the Dow Jones Industrial. Markets usually go up, guys. And if you look at the Dow Jones Industrial, we're pretty flat. We're at 2021 levels. So if you look at the trend line here, though, it's still kind of the same. Again, if anything, it's in underperformance right now. But let's just look at this real quick here. Let's draw this all the way back, okay? So you can see times where we outperform. You can see times where we're underperforming, right? Right? Pretty clear lines here. Let's look at this. Switch this up a little bit. So the Dow Jones Industrial, again, outperformance. Probably want to sell when you get too high, right? Outperformance, probably a pretty good indication that you're breaking away from the mean here and you want to sell out, right? But let me see this here. Actually, it's probably more like this. Yeah, this is close. I'm going to lock this even. This is beautiful, actually. So, again, when it was way above the line, you get out, you take a break. It's going to drop underneath. But look out over here. Look at how high the performance got in November 2014 versus like the median, right? You can see where there's resistance up here. Resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance, blue above it, back to support, resistance. And actually, I should draw this line just a hair up. But you can see where we're very much in the underperformance category right now. So if anything, let me see here. I'm trying to get this just about right. Should this go up or down? Probably up, just a hair. Yeah, okay. So that looks really good. So if anything, we look like we could at least test back up to the median line in the 19,000s. So I'm not bearish in this market right now. I'm worried about who the president's going to be. I'm worried about Kamala Harris stealing the election. That I'm worried about, but I'm not bearish on the economy in the country right now. I think this election is getting to me. When you say DJT, I think Donald J. Trump. Yeah, no, legit. I mean, that's True Social's ticker, right? So I get that. It's not crazy. Let me adjust this up here real quick. I need to make sure. Whenever I save, I got to watch out, because if I save, let me just draw something here. If I save a little bit, and then I'll get rid of this, and then I got to save over here, because I need to save with these things up here. Otherwise, it will do when I'm looking at that view over here, which is not super great all the time. All right, so PayPal getting a nice bounce. Very impressed, guys. Very impressed that we're pushing up towards 80. Yeah, less than a week left. It's just gonna be, and then again, with all the corruption, it could be a week or two. It could be a week or two before we know anything about the election. Look at Seoul Strategies just getting crushed. Let's look at this one real quick here, guys. So let's just look at the chart. I don't know if this will be my chart. Let me just shrink this real quick. Pull chart. There we go. So again, this thing had such a launch. Definitely not a great price at 160. Probably better at 85 cents. Probably even better at 72. I still don't know if this is overbought. Does anybody know if there's an actual calculator that does a good job? Because I don't want to do this manually. I don't want to tell people to buy something when it's like a manual process. But we should get support in the 67 to 61 cent range potentially. But I mean, we could even drop to the 48s. It just depends on how overbought this thing is. You can see how James probably recommended this, and then it just exploded. Well, I don't know when he recommended it. Maybe he did it over here, October 21st. I think he started talking about this a while ago. But again, I just don't know. 37.65 million. Is that fairly valued? Is that what their assets are? I'd have to look at the video that James put out. Palantir starting to dive. That's not a surprise at all, is it, guys? Is anybody surprised about Palantir diving? I mean, I've been saying that. Even though there's some asshole who posted that I was wrong because I was saying, hey, it's rough in the 20s. I don't know if it can go much higher. Sure, it doubled, and you can call yourself a genius for that. But were you telling people to buy down here at $7? Probably not. So fuck you, person I blocked. Yeah, I know. Yep, they did. Cypher reported. I mean, I don't care much about the minor revenues, honestly. Hood's getting punished today, is it? I mean, that's not surprising either, right? Can't really say. That's too crazy. Down 12.42. Yeah, that makes sense. They should be punished. They should be. They deserve it. They deserve it because they put no effort into Bitcoin or crypto, and I think that's going to hurt them. Again, guys, and they had, again, contra revenue. They're growing. So let me just show Hood again. I don't know that I've done a really good wrap-up because the call was so boring. I really wish I would have spent my time in the MicroStrategy call. I might even play a video here from Michael Saylor here in a second. But monthly active users, not great. But they're also putting all their eggs into one basket, right? Like they're putting their eggs into the IRA, Roth IRA basket. That's where a lot of their money's coming in. Then they're trying to do professional trading platform. I think they're going to struggle against a company like TradingView. If I was them, I would have done a partnership with TradingView or something. I don't know. Maybe it's all right. But if we look here, their bonds are gone, right? Their own personal bonds are gone. They've got a cash position. It's a dwindling cash position. They're still buying back stock, but they're also issuing shares. So it's like, whatever. A lower inflation rate than some. Oh, hey, we got Chicago PMI. We'll come back to this in a second. One sec here. Ooh, that's bad. All right.
Oh, minus 2.8 billion. Now get this. There was a later release put out by EY.
PMI came in lower than expected. We'll go into greater detail.
These guys had the guts to put out their own release. First three sentences of the fourth paragraph, the fifth paragraph, the seventh paragraph, and the eighth paragraph they're in. We have no basis to agree or disagree with the other statements.
Let him play while I look it up.
How much do they not want to be sued? Is that brilliant? Have you ever heard anybody like that? This is like the Marx Brothers. Like, why don't we take up the taxes?
We have some economic data crossing as we speak just moments ago. Actually, it's the Chicago PMI. Let's get to Rick Santelli.
Bad number.
For us. Hey, Rick.
Yes, October.
Don't touch SMCI.
MNI's
Agreed.
PMI for Chicago. Manufacturing in and around the Windy City comes in light. 41.6. That's the weakest level going back to May of this year. And just to put a big macro face on it, that means 25 of the last 26 months have been below 50. It's now 11 in a row.
This is a horrible number for the Chicago PMI. It's not surprising, though. Chicago is turning into a shit show. So it doesn't surprise me at all. The Rust Belt is rusting more than I would have ever anticipated it could. It's why I think they're going to all flip to Trump.
Below 50. Now, I don't see all the detail. My guess is we've probably seen some prices paid movement to the upside because this weak number is not pushing yields down at all. As a matter of fact, yields are stubbornly high. We're hovering right around 430 and a 10. That close yesterday was the lowest yield close since the 3rd of July, and it really does underscore how much there is at this 430 to 432 level in terms of technical resistance. We want to watch which side we close on 432 on Friday, of course, after the big jobs.
This probably won't help election chances here as the stock market's falling heading into the election. That's probably a good thing, though. I want to see that. You know what? Shave 30% off this bitch. Take the whole fucking thing down if it means Kamala Harris isn't elected. I don't care. Look at how long we've been under negative, guys, outside of this one little spike. Look at this, right? September, August of 2022. So September 2022, we went negative. So between August and September 2022, over 25 months ago, almost 26 months ago, we have been virtually negative the entire time. That is worse than the dot-com bubble. That is much worse, honestly. Like depth is bad over here, but it's much worse than the 2008 great financial crisis. The pain that we're seeing in this Chicago data is horrific. It's horrific. It's really bad. It's just incredibly disappointing. Palantir down 3.5%. We're going to see a lot of drops in the market right now, I think. Let's just look over here. VIX is creeping higher. That's what I would expect. The dollar is getting ready close to crush the ruble. Let's actually jump over it. Let's look at the watch list. 2A Aaron, thank you for joining, my friend. Paper hands going nuts. They're going to go nuts today. There's going to be a lot of pain today, I think. Hood down 14%. Cypher down 9.2%. Just everything's going to get punished today, massively. That was a bad number. That was a really bad number. It shows how bad our economy is right now. PayPal up 1.37%. That's insane. Google up. U.S. oil up. I don't know why oil would be up right now. I would be frightened of that number. Yeah, so it's going to be a down day, guys. I think that's pretty inevitable at this point. Are we buying? Somebody keeps asking about Mew. Gary is. Gerd is asking about Micron. Gary's asking about Micron. Everybody loves the Micron, huh? I mean, are you buying that, or are you buying CleanSpark down 6% or Iron down 6%? I don't know. I'd probably buy the things that I think are going to give me a higher multiplier. It's not Micron right now, personally. But I also don't think it's a horrible bet. Wish I had more Argentinian ETF stock. That's actually holding up pretty good today. Yeah, it's gonna be a day today. Ooh, that should be good, though. It should get us even further into the fear and greed. Oh, yeah, 53. We could be very neutral to negative today. Oil, 69,420. Beautiful. All right. I don't know, guys. What else do we have for economic data? I mean, this is a horrible number. This is a horrible number. This shows what mismanaging our government can do. We either, guys, you elect Donald Trump or you just kiss your fucking portfolios goodbye. Outside of Bitcoin will probably do good because the money printer will go burr and the US dollar will be destroyed, and our world reserve status will be destroyed. So if you guys like the idea of death to America, if you're like one of these fucking free Palestine assholes, then vote for Kamala, because you will kill the country. You'll do a great job killing our country. You'll help Bitcoin's price, but it might not matter when the world's bleeding. So, Travis is the one that said, Discord on Whale, can you look at BBKCF? Yes, sir, I can. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody else here, too. BBKCF. Was that right? Yeah. What was it again? Damn it. BBKCF. What is BBKCF? All right, let me look over here. Is that a fund? Is that Berkshire? I don't know. All right, BBKCF. All right. Did that work? Did I save it? I did. Okay. BBKCF. Lots of pain in markets today. Boop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop. Big digital assets. I don't know what that means, bro. I don't know how to quantify this. I have no earnings or anything to look at. They probably have some metric for Bitcoin holdings or something. Like, what do these guys do? I mean, this has been a horrific chart. It looks like it's finding support, but I don't know what they do. Are they really small? Oh, shit, they're a $49 million company. So that's probably why it doesn't appear on the other one. I can look down here. I mean, that net income looks horrific. Blockchain net coins, Terra Zero. I wouldn't, this just has no liquidity. I wouldn't touch this personally, but I also don't know enough about what it actually is. But I personally wouldn't touch it, man. I wouldn't expect, there's so many asymmetric opportunities to the upside with just, like, even just MicroStrategy. You know, big digital assets is an OnlyFans competitor. Is it an, yeah, that's funny. Actually, JT, that's really funny. It's Canadian crypto. Okay. Yeah, I just don't, it's 56 million. I don't know. Jesse, you started with 340,000 and made 3 million. How much did you start with? I didn't become a trader. I invested. I bought. So here's how I got rich, guys. I was mediocre at every job I ever had. I hated most of it. I hated working for people. I hated corporate America. I hated having to be fake in order to be able to, like, rise up the ladder. I loathed all that. But I invested. I invested at a younger age. I sold when I was 18, 19 or 19, maybe 20. I worked at Gateway Computers. It's this old cow spotted box computer company. And actually one of my friends was the former, chief technology officer of that place. I became friends with him later in life and met him a bunch of times because he's a big Bitcoin advocate and a miner. Anyway, whatever. But, I worked at that company, and I did sell out of my investment account initially. You had a Gateway computer? Yeah. They had the Destination, the 36-inch monitor. It was like 250 pounds. Way before its time, though. Yeah, way before its time. But you gotta find market fit, right? But yeah, I worked at that company, and I sold my investments. I wish I never would have done that. Years later, I started to get back into investing again, and I always was fascinated by investing. Looks like Vlad's going to be talking in a second. We'll probably watch that real quick before we end it for the morning. But I always liked investing, and I invested just in 401k accounts. I didn't even roll over into IRAs. I just put my money to work and let it compound. That is the best way to make money. I didn't know anything about anything, and I knew to buy a house. And I bought the house I'm currently in right now, this one that you're seeing me in, for $102,000 years ago. Like, I want to say it's over 15 years. I don't even remember anymore, man. It's been so long. But it was a fixer-upper, and I fixed it up. And it's probably valued at $400,000 today. I still have the house. I refinanced a couple of times to be able to pull money out. And then I invested really hard starting in 2017. I did so bad in 2018 to 19 that I was negative like $46,000, right? So I'd failed miserably. I didn't know about the Bitcoin halving. I didn't know anything, right? Like I was just an idiot. I was an uneducated idiot who figured out trend lines and some technical stuff, but really didn't know a whole lot about anything. Let me just pull this up real quick here. It's in here, my cool stuff thing. Yeah, okay. So this shows my lows. Oh, you know what? I think I have that on my main. Do I have that on my main? Yeah, right here. Right? So this was my lowest point. I took out credit card debt to buy the dip. I took out $100,000 in credit cards in 2019 because I knew I was right about Bitcoin. I knew I was right about Tesla, and I had figured out why I was failing so bad. And that I needed to be longer term. And so I took out credit card debt. You know why I did this? Because around this time, a little bit earlier, I'd filed bankruptcy. And the thing I'd learned from it was actually, a decent amount earlier. I'd filed bankruptcy. And you know what I learned from bankruptcy? Because I'd done this, So I filed bankruptcy in like 2010-ish. 2009. And I did that because I had went long options. Didn't know how options worked in 2008. So every time I'd failed so many times in investing, guys, just from stupid shit. I was on margin. I was all long. Didn't know how options worked. Knew they went up and I made a bunch of money when they went up. Lost it all. And then ended up filing bankruptcy. But you know what I learned from the bankruptcy? I learned that it's okay. I filed bankruptcy, and within a month and a half, I bought my wife a car at like 4.5% interest. I got to keep like 3 or 4 cars. I got to keep everything in my house. I got to keep all my retirement accounts as long as you haven't withdrawn from them, like IRAs and 401ks, and you haven't tapped them as a resource, then they can't touch them. I think you can keep up to $500,000 or $1 million in assets in a house. Like it was crazy. It taught me that you can fail in life and you get do-overs. And so in 2019 I leaned into it. And then ever since, even though there were pandemics, even though there were bear markets and bull markets and different asset classes, I've just continued to grow my wealth to recently being at 3.7 million at the beginning of the year. While retiring myself in 2020, retiring my wife in 2021, retiring my in-laws in 2022 and my parents, and looking to retire my brother and others here in the next year in 2025, and having to pay all my expenses and retire all these people and take on their burdens as well. So I think I've done pretty good. And I think I've learned a lot of lessons. You can learn a lot from being horrific, from failing over and over again and still being persistent and still pushing forward and still taking risk. But make sure it's the right risk. Make sure it's not margin. Make sure you're not too heavy into options. I'm heavy right now because I believe there's good things coming in the next 6 months to a year and a half. But it's going to be dependent upon Trump winning the presidency. And there's going to be a lot of things that can change if he doesn't. Normally, I wouldn't say that about an election because, again, we're still going to see things going up. We'll still see Bitcoin, I think, outperform all that. But I do worry about the future of this country. So I've got to take that into equation if going forward here, if that were to happen. Henry Trade says Microsoft's ready to rip. Bacon Emoji says capital makes money. Yes, it does. Exactly. Chad Ventures. Let me see. Oh, that was from a while ago. Chad Ventures, are you planning on buying some dips today? Maybe. I don't know. I might just take a break and go on a walk. I've got more leaves to rake up, even though they're wet. I probably got to wait for them to dry off. I got to hang out with the wife. I'm probably going to skip, guys. I'm going to skip the market recap today and the Amazon earnings. My daughter wants me to pick her up from school, so I'm going to do that. And I think we're going Halloween hiking here tonight, so probably going to cut out. This will probably be my only thing today. I still don't see Vlad coming up on CNBC, but I'll let you guys know when that happens. Nomad Sim says Kamala is an absolute disaster. Hope America can wake up. Me too, bro. I think America is awake. What I worry about is the boat being stolen. Brad, top 3 miners to run. I mean, they're all going to do all right. You know my investment, guys. I own CleanSpark, Bitfarms, Iron, and Mara. So there's 4. Equally dispersed between them, you probably got a pretty good bucket. All right, let's see here. So Justin says, or Bacon Emoji says, that's pretty well done, dude. Good job. Thank you. Justin, sounds like the best asymmetric bet that you made was on yourself. It's true. It's true, though. It is cheesy, but it's true. Todd Gleason, there are some cases, unfortunately, where you can be repoed in bankruptcy. I think it may be if your credit card company also holds your car loan. You know, my mortgage company held my mortgage, and I had $60,000 or $70,000 in credit cards with them, but it didn't mean shit. So there could be. It depends on what kind of bankruptcy you do. Mine was completely forgiven. All right, there's different chapters. I don't recommend bankruptcy to anybody, just to be clear. I don't recommend taking out credit card debt to buy dips. It's got to be an act of desperation, okay? And at high levels of conviction. I don't recommend any of these things, okay? Just to be clear. Matt, fail early. Yes, fail early and fail often. Yes. Dario, let's say with 50 to 100K, we can give ourselves the chance to make good money. Yes. Nerd Shack, think markets are trying to scare us for Halloween. And yes, and if we'll remember here, the chance for a Halloween dip is very unlikely over the last 34 years. It's like 0.35%. So keep that into account. But this time could be different. Sometimes they are. Sidecar Guy, have a great rest of the day, Jesse. Enjoy your evening. Thank you. Yes, I will. I'm still going to stick around. I want to see what Vlad has to say. So as soon as Vlad gets up, I'll bail. Nomad Sim, question for you. Do you have a lot of options, leverage, or margin, or mostly spot trading? Normally, I don't even use options, except for maybe a hedging strategy. I have a lot of options right now because I have strong conviction in Tesla. I have strong conviction in Bitcoin, and there's a few asymmetric bets in other directions that I'm willing to play because I think even if we destroy this country, we'll do it bleeding out, and so we'll be pushing the markets higher before we do. My passion out candy tonight? Probably. Francisco, what is happening with CleanSpark? I don't know. It's all going down. But yeah, so I do normally, I would be in spot. I never touch margin. I don't love leverage unless there's multipliers that make sense. I am in a decent amount of calls right now. I've got a lot in Tesla, huge amount, over $1 million. I've got over $500,000 in PayPal. I've got, I was about right. I said maybe I'll be down to like 150 or something on Hood. That's what I'm down. I'm actually probably 150, 160. So that makes sense. It's not crazy. I've got a bunch in CleanSpark. So I've got asymmetric bets that are long right now. I do. But that's just because they're going to benefit from whatever's coming, no matter what form it comes in. C-List, Jesse means USA gives many financial second chances, but better to be smart. Yes, that's exactly what I mean. Do not file bankruptcy unless you absolutely have to. But we do give opportunity, right? Even Trump had to file bankruptcy for multiple companies. We encourage people to take risk and benefit from that risk. And when they do benefit, they end up helping everybody because they create more jobs, right? If a small business succeeds, it creates more jobs. If somebody fails in that business, they get a do-over. If their next business succeeds, then more people get jobs and you got more income coming in and you have growth. We want people to try and fail. That is the American way. It is what has made capitalism so great. All right? Is CleanSpark a buying opportunity? I mean, everything is kind of a buying opportunity today, wouldn't you say? Let's go back here. I've got one of these on the watch list here. Right there, yeah. So let's see. What isn't a buy today? VIX isn't a buy today. PayPal's up 1%. Still shocked by that. Love it. Flux is up 3.44. Probably won't last. The dollar's up a little bit. Not much. But what's a buy today? I mean, Iron's down 6.3%. Oh, wait. Let's see here. Hood's down 12.6. Seoul Strategies is down 17%. Maybe still not a buy. Could be a buy. Riot's down 10%. Cypher's down 8%. Bitfarms is down 7.18%. And people want to ask about CleanSpark because it's down 6.98. Refer to above. Palantir is down over 4%. It's just a shitty day. That's what it is, guys. That's all it is. It's a shitty day. Get used to it. Snowing now in Minnesota. Woof. Really? Fuck that shit. That's going to be coming here, too. I got to get my snowblower in. That's what I got to do. It's another thing. Who's messing with BTC? I'm not sure what you mean by messing with. Hopefully buying. Do you think CleanSpark is down because of... No, Francis. No, dude. Look above. Again. Riot down 10%. That's a Bitcoin miner. Cypher down 7.5%. That's a Bitcoin miner. CleanSpark down 7%. That's a Bitcoin miner. Bitfarms down 6.78%. That's a Bitcoin miner. Iron down 6%. That's a Bitcoin miner. Mara down almost 5%. That's a Bitcoin miner. There's a pattern here. It's that these are down. Okay? That's the pattern. All right. I might listen to Vlad later. This is taking too long. Let me see. Is he coming up? Market alert. Stocks down sharply.
Well, November, December. Okay,
we love
October's
him.
in the books after today. What's this market going to do for the remainder of the year?
Well, I think part of it depends on the election. And I think, when we see the VIX up at 22, there seems to be a lot of anxiety, a lot of uncertainty on what that outcome is. Now, I think when it's resolved anyway, that usually brings the market back up. But, when you see a yield of 433,
that's
and
bad.
in my calculation, I see now, believe it or not, only 3 25 basis point cuts between now and next June's meeting.
You're probably right, Michael.
And there are 6 meetings left, 2 this year, and then 4 through June. That really means the market is really just expecting almost every other meeting a 25 basis point cut. Now compare that with right after that 50 basis point cut where they were expecting
I think there's 2 cuts coming.
At least 1 cut every meeting.
I'm gonna do something for a second here, okay? Somebody asked, what's going on with markets today? The Chicago PMI is what's going on with markets today. It's utterly fucked. Worst rout in modern history. Worse than 2008. Worse than the dot-com bubble. Comparative to the early 80s, 87 range. So this thing is just horrible. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. And I'm my throat's rough. So, not good. But I think this is going to be the opposite point of what he's trying to make, is that it shows weakness and it shows the need to cut rates. Nomad Sim says, how does one learn what Jesse has learned? Are you also self-taught or have you subbed? I mean, I talk about this stuff all the time and I answer questions pretty straightforward. Oh, hiccups are horrible. And again, I'm super honest about my history. So how many people tell you that they've been bankrupt? How many people tell you that you don't need to watch my show and you can just invest in the right companies and walk away? Who does that? Nobody does that. So I think you can learn it from watching me if you don't invest and walk away. Excuse me, Gary Corrett. Jesse, so by declaring bankruptcy, did creditors pardon what you owed? What exactly? It depends on the chapter that you file. I don't remember them anymore. I think chapter 13 is worse. There's one where you have to come with an agreement on debts, and there's another one where it's a debt forgiveness. I don't know what qualifies for either. But I qualified. My income was low. I was poor, and I'd accrued a lot of debt. And so I qualified for complete forgiveness. And they do things to make it easier for you, too. Like value cars really low. Tell you, the value of, the things in your house can be a lot lower than you spent. There's a lot of weirdness to it. Happy to share my story, Nomad. Hopefully I can get rid of these hiccups. Chapter 13 is debt repayment. Oh, so it's 7. I must have done 7. Chapter 11, 7. I don't know. I don't know any of it anymore. I got forgiveness. It was a long time ago. It was 2009, 15 years ago, something like that. So yeah, that was a big difference. But this is Jeremy Siegel, right? I think so. Let's listen to what he has to say, because I do respect his opinion. He's a very brilliant guy. So I want to hear his thoughts real quickly, even though I might have a different opinion. I want to hear them because, again, when somebody is really smart and really good at what they do, you listen.
So that revision upward, puts a new look on the market. It looks a new look on bonds. I mean, stocks are strong because it means the economy is just much stronger than people think. So earnings will trump interest rates for stocks, but certainly for bonds, they're not good.
Well, I mean, what's more attractive here, stocks or bonds? I mean, the Fed is going to cut.
So here's the thing: long-dated bonds are not going to be attractive. They're not going to be, guys. We're in a different period of time. The reason that they're not attractive is because we don't know if this government can ever repay its debt. We don't know if they can. And if Trump isn't in the White House and we don't have a strategic Bitcoin reserve, if we're not pro-growth, if we're increasing taxes, you can't own long-dated bonds. You can't. You can't own them. So it will just get worse. I hope you understand this. The bond market is not a safety mechanism right now if we're not going to service our debts in the future. The whole reason that people buy bonds is because they're worried about the economy and they trust the U.S. government. Do you trust the U.S. government? I don't. So you can't own bonds. The yields can continue to go higher. And that, for some people, could cause them to jump out of stocks and into bonds. I think those people would be stupid. Okay? I think they'd be stupid. Here's how. Here's how. Jay Johnson says, here's how. Here's how what? Here's how. My hiccup cure. Okay, I'll watch that later. Thanks, man. I love you guys. Jesse, what do you share, teach, etc. as a part of your paid subscription? I don't really do a lot extra for the paid subscription. I mean, it's just contributing to the cause. I give away almost everything for free, so you really don't have to contribute. Is that the honest answer? I mean, for YouTube, if you want to talk on YouTube, you need to pay $2. X, you get extra content that I don't share with other people. So I'll give charts, I'll give analysis that will be extra that doesn't get shared anywhere else. Discord gives you the ability to be able to have all my charts, to be able to look at my daily trades and historical in case you miss something that comes up in X. The all-in cost for all of these together is $12 a month. But you don't have to pay anything. You'll just be missing out on a few things and maybe something that's key that fills in a void or something. I don't know. But otherwise, I pretty much give it all away for free. Right? Like I tell people not even to watch my channel because they don't have to. They could just buy and hold. Just buy Tesla and Bitcoin and hold. You'd be fine with that. Hopefully that answers your question. Grab some NVDL and MSTU so you're getting some leverage plays on NVIDIA and MicroStrategy. Probably not a bad idea. Voted yesterday. Now I'm ready for whatever is next after that. Hey, man, as long as you did your part, Matt. That's what matters. So I'm still looking. CNBC. I want to let Jeremy Siegel, though. I do need to let him finish his thoughts because he is brilliant. Let's see. Main Stage News says, you've talked about working out and liking community. There's a workout group called F3 that you may like in a lot of cities. I think you're pretty remote, though, so there may not be one near you. All right. I'll keep that in mind. Thanks, man.
Whether it's, 3 versus 6, the trajectory for yields presumably still is lower. Now, obviously, they backed up a bunch, which some would suggest make treasuries attractive here.
Well, I don't know how attractive they are.
All right, great. He's going to say the same thing I'm thinking of, that they suck. Disease Kodak, here's what you missed out on. The Chicago PMI was horrific. We were expecting this thing to come in. What did we expect it at? Just to reiterate, so people understand why we're tanking so bad. We were expecting 47.5 for forecast and 47 for consensus. Anything under 50 is indicative of contraction, and it's bad. If we look over here, the depth we've been to since the pandemic, since really 25 months, the depths we've been under in contraction with this brief reprieve where we had a moment of expansion in November of 2023 before it just went right back down again, is worse than the pandemic, is worse than the 2008 great financial crisis, is worse than the dot-com bubble, is worse than the early 90s. It's comparable and maybe better than early 1980 into 1982. So we're looking at the worst PMI, Chicago, like, culmination in recent history since the 80s in over 50 years. So that's not great. And that's why the markets are down. And this is what you're going to get a lot more of if you vote Kamala Harris. You're going to get a lot more of it. Now let's listen to Jeremy Siegel shit on the U.S. government and our debt situation. Yeah. Does this affect the bullish outlook? Should we be worried? Short term, we could get some retracements, but no, the market's still going to go up no matter what. You do want to be invested in the right things.
One has to remember through history, the 10-year is on average between 100 and 150 basis points above the Fed funds. Now, if they are going down, and I really don't think they're going to be going
like a Viking.
At most down to 3.5, even though their projection is 2.9, I think it's 3.5 to 3.75 now is that neutral rate. And
I agree.
If you add 100 to 150 basis points to that, you're near the 5 level on the 10-year. People are all surprised, and we've talked about this before, that the long rate has gone up while the Fed is on a downward path. But what we are is reverting to the normal structure of interest rates, which is long above short, and we have not completed that transition yet.
That's fair. I totally agree with what he's saying. I totally agree. Mainstage News says, Ted, Chairman, awesome. I'm in West Indianapolis. What city are you in so I can pay a visit when I'm near? I used to live in Carmel, Indiana, and hang out downtown in Indianapolis a lot. I used to live in Chicago 2 years ago. I'm a little bit before Carmel. I like Carmel way better than Chicago. Chicago was just, I don't know. Chicago's, as long as you stay away from South Side. I mean, Chicago's probably turning into a shithole again, which is sad. It was getting really good. But, whatever. But, yeah, Indianapolis, cool city. I still like it. What's the crime and stuff? Like, what's Indianapolis been like the last 20 years? I haven't been there in so long. But I 100% agree with Jeremy Siegel. I've been saying this for a long time, guys. I said for a long time, years, that our new rate was not going to be 2%, that the Fed was saying that their goal was 2%, and it was bullshit, and it would be closer to 3 to 4. And 3.5, 3.25, 3.5, Siegel's spot on, I think, here. Mm-hmm. Is it Jeremy Siegel? I think it is.
But aren't fewer cuts better? I mean, you were arguing, maybe you said the 50 basis point cut was too much. Maybe they don't need to do more.
Well, I think we.
Two of the cities I hated the most: Detroit, Gary, Indiana, Southside Chicago, New Orleans, parts of New Orleans, the ghetto parts, before they washed all the gangsters out. I don't know how bad New Orleans is now. Maybe it's still bad. But some of the worst places I've lived in, man, or been to. Gary, Indiana, absolute shithole. It's like that. It's the power. It's the power for Chicago. It's just the worst.
I think we need to do more. As I said, I see it going down to 350, down to 375. So, we're talking
yeah, he's right.
About 100, 125 basis points below there. But then if you add the normal term premium, if we finally got out of this crazy inversion that we've had in the term structure for the last 2.5 years and get back to normal, which is what the Fed wants to do, you've got to add that 150 basis points to the 10-year. And at this point, we're not there yet, even with the Fed on a downward path.
What do you think about the mega cap trade or the tech trade, which, you know, after sleeping, I guess, for the third quarter, has woken up more? Now, the NASDAQ obviously has been hitting record highs.
Oh, yeah, sorry. St. Louis is a shithole, too. I forgot about St. Louis. The only thing interesting in St. Louis, probably the Arch, but don't be downtown after dark. Don't be. It's a great way to get murdered.
We're
downtown, there's literally no life downtown. I don't know, maybe it's better now. I haven't been there for a few years. But like even the people selling you cigarettes and alcohol do it behind bulletproof glass.
getting and figuring out what we want to make of Meta and Microsoft. We got Amazon and Apple this evening. But where are you on that outlook?
That's San Francisco now?
The
Great.
interest rate, both the long and the short interest rate, is just not as important to the big tech as they are to the small and mid cap. And the reason why, this, much called for small cap, mid cap revival has been short circuited is because now instead of thinking, oh yeah, the Fed is going to be really in the low threes by the middle of next year, oh, maybe they're going to be in the high threes, and we don't know how fast they're going down. So I really think that the reason why large cap has held its own and small cap hasn't gone up is really this revaluation of what's happening on the interest rate structure.
That's fascinating. He's so smart.
Listen, the narrative on AI is still there. It's one of the strongest narratives we probably have had in the market since .com. That went on for many years. Now, I'm not predicting a bust here.
Yeah, don't compare it to the .com bubble. This is not pets.com. It's nowhere near it. Again, we've seen so much washout of bullshit. And the AI play, outside of the shitty AI plays, are still very real. What Tesla's doing right now, if you guys didn't see it, we're going to get version 13 is being introduced internally right now within the company. And by November, by Turkey Day, we're going to see version 13.3 being released broadly. There is so much real world AI happening right now. Grok can look at your x-rays and your MRIs and tell you what your problems are. There is real use cases for this stuff. It's getting better by the day. So we'll see what else he needs to back that up. I don't like that comparison at all.
Because these stocks are nowhere near as crazy as we were in 2000. But narratives go on for quite a while, and they don't disappear unless they get punched many times with disappointments. And, listen, we've had a few maybe slight disappointments on guidance on these, but not enough, I think, certainly in the short run to change the trend and the story.
That's sad, Dario.
Good seeing you as always, Professor. Be well. I'll see you again soon. I'm sure of that. Jeremy Siegel.
Thank you,
Wharton
Scott.
School. All right.
Wharton School of Finance. I love him. He's very brilliant. He's a good dude. I agree with most of what he said. I do think that the 10-year is getting close to its peak, though. But we'll see if Jeremy Siegel is more right than I am. I think I'm done for today. I don't see Robinhood, Vlad coming up. Maybe he will later here. I think I'm going to call it for the day, guys. Let's just look at the market real quick, though, and see kind of where we're landing. Palantir's still down 4% on the day. Let's just see how the rest are doing. Is anything getting a reprieve today? It looks like we're getting a little bit. Well, Robinhood isn't. But you know what? Fuck Robinhood. You guys piss me off. So they better do better. They need to do better with crypto. They need to do better. That's the part I really want them to put more initiative into. The rest of this, though, kind of getting butchered. Miners are getting butchered more than they were. Let's see how the rest of this is doing. Tesla down 0.77. Yeah, it's just going to be a bloody day. PayPal still up. Who knew? Makes me almost want to sell some of my PayPal to buy the dip on all these other things. I don't know. We'll see. Probably not. We'll see. All right, love you guys. Let's see if there's a video here we want to play. It's got to be a Michael Saylor video. It's going to be a Michael Saylor video because this guy's a badass. You know what, though? Everybody thinks the world's coming to an end. So let's do this. We'll do the Bitcoin's going to zero. Okay? Love you guys. I will talk to you later. I guess, yeah, what day is it even? Thursday? I guess I'll see you tomorrow. Peace out. Bye.
I've always been deeply opposed to crypto.
Last year, cryptocurrency funded every kind of dangerous criminal.
But I would not touch crypto in a million years.
Bitcoin is going to zero.
If I was the government, I'd close it down.
People are losing money in scams and huckster flim-flam artists.
These people who own these things should not own your money in any of those. I do think you're an idiot, okay?
It's over.
Go fuck yourself. Yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. What do you do? What do you do? Yourself. Is that clear?
What do you do with the Bitcoin besides it just gather value?
Real estate developers in New York City, they're not buying the real estate because they want to live in it.
But like most of the people who are buying assets at some point want to sell the assets at a profit.
People that use fiat currency as a store of value, we call them poor. We call them poor. People that use fiat currency, we call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. There's a name for them. We call them poor. We call them poor. Okay? Right, like, the point is, if you have the superior asset, it's going up forever, Laura. Forever.
Right, I mean, right, but I mean, we can all look Bitcoin sort of as...
Forever, Laura. People that use fiat currency as a store of value, we call them poor. We call them poor. People that use fiat currency, we call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. There's a name for them. We call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor.